This week, in the scenic town of Flora Vista, New Mexico, the disappearance of a young woman in broad daylight sends everybody scrambling for answers. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Yay, indeed, Jimmy. Yay, indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmy Whisman.
And I can feel the yay in my bones this week because I feel it. It's big. Sorry. We apologize, any crime and sports listeners, to the lack of crime and sports this week.
Right.
But I am ill. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice, but I'm not in good shape right now. I have enough voice for one show this week. And since Small Town Murder has like 5 times as many listeners, we said we should do that one.
That's
probably.
The one we gotta do.
This is the one we got to do. So we apologize for that. But thank you to everyone joining us today. Thank you guys for all of your iTunes reviews this week.
Yes.
They mean the world. We've said it before. It's a business thing. It really helps the show drive up the charts. So if you've not done it yet, go over to iTunes or Apple Podcasts or whatever the hell it is and give us 5 stars. Doesn't matter what you say. It really doesn't. Just say something on there. It's not for our egos. It's really just for business.
You're not changing my point of view.
No. And if you want to be an even bigger superstar, a real superstar, one that we can't tell you how valuable you are, you can do that very easily. Be one of our producers by going over to patreon.com/crimeinsports and you can make a donation there, or go over to PayPal and use our email address, which is crimeinsports@gmail.com to make a one-time donation. Head on over to shutupandgivememurder.com.
Yes, do that.
And you can get all your merchandise needs, t-shirts and mugs and bath mats and all that good shit there.
Tour dates!
And, of course, tour dates. Yeah. All of the tour dates there. As we've mentioned before, we're going to be everywhere. Might as well run it down quick. San Francisco, Portland, Seattle, Cincinnati, Minneapolis, Detroit, Chicago, Philly, Boston, New York, D.C., or Baltimore, whatever the fuck, somewhere in Maryland. I don't know what the hell it is.
Spring Valley or something?
Silver Springs.
That's
Silver
the one.
Springs. There we go. Atlanta, Houston, Dallas.
And Denver. And Houston.
And Houston, Dallas. Yeah. And that's in no particular order. But we'll be in all those places.
That's a shitload of cities.
It's all those. And we've had a lot of questions. We're going to answer one question right now.
This one is very important.
It's very important because the venues and the different ads, it'll say general admission or it'll say standing this or that. So people ask us, will there be chairs? Because we had yes. Yeah. The answer, we had a couple shows last time where there was like half the room is seated and half isn't. We're not going to do that.
No.
We didn't realize that was even a thing that people would try to do.
Right.
Yeah. We were just up there like, why is half the audience not in chairs? It's like, do they want to not be in chairs?
What's happening?
People
leaned against those people are not leaned. They're sitting on purses and backpacks.
Man. It's like an hour 45, 2-hour show.
Make you stand for that shit.
It's comedy where there's no music, there's no dancing. It's just comedy.
This ain't a fucking Incubus concert.
No, you're gonna laugh. So if we have to go to a rental store beforehand, get a goddamn U-Haul truck and fucking rent chairs and bring them 500 chairs out of our pocket.
City, Bogarts.
We'll fucking do it. We don't care. But everyone's gonna have chairs. So no matter what your tickets say, fear not. The chairs will be there for you to sit in and get so drunk that you won't be able to stand.
Right.
Which is the goal.
That's it.
A bunch of people standing, they're not going to get drunk enough.
Have you been to a live show? These people
Christ.
drink their fucking asses off.
They don't understand how comedy works, some of these people. See?
So much fun.
Yeah, that's some of the clubs, they understand. You go to Punchline in Philly, they goddamn get it, those people. God damn it. The
Zanies in Nashville, not fucking around.
Zanies, they know what the hell they're doing. There's certain clubs, they know what's up with that. But, never mind all that shit, Jimmy. It's time for the disclaimer.
Yeah.
As always, we have got to do the disclaimer. This is a comedy podcast.
It is.
Above all else, it is.
That's what matters.
We take the facts extremely seriously. The cases are real. The research is real. We don't make things up to make it more funny or more interesting or anything like that. But we do make jokes. We're comedians. That's what we do. That's kind of the point of the show.
Right.
If you want to listen to a very sober, solemn telling of it, there's 100,000 options for literally.
Watch the fucking news.
Watch the news. It's half the podcast. You can watch Dateline. You can listen to There's a million places to go, but this is not one of them. We're going to make some jokes mixed in there. What we don't do, though, is we do not make jokes at the expense of the victims or of the victims' families.
They don't deserve that.
Why do we do that, Jimmy? Because we're assholes, but
we're not scumbags.
We're not scumbags. Right. That's the point right there. So with that said, we're all in the car. We're on the way to the liquor store. Everybody's just as involved as everybody else. So if you're on board, then you're on board. board. You're in for the long haul. You're in it for life. Let's do this. Let's do this. I know what you're saying. You're saying, shut up and give me murder.
That's the one.
So let's do it. We have just that for you. Okay. Murder. Hey, how ironic. Look at that.
Hurry up and buy, James.
You want murder? We got murder.
Yeah.
So here we are. Let's go on a trip, Jimmy. What do you say? You ready?
I can't wait.
You packed up?
I got a new charger.
I saw that. That's pretty cool. I like that.
Fucking handy key
That's
chain
pretty
charger.
neat, dude.
It plugs right the fuck in and goes right back in my bag.
Going to be handy for the road. We'll pack it up and let's go.
Let's do it.
Where we were in South Carolina last week for a real asshole. That guy was a dick.
We have a lot of listeners that live at James Island.
We got so many people right around James Island here. I'm right 20 minutes from my house. Oh my God. I was like, Jesus Christ. This is up. We got to go to South Carolina for live shows.
Fucking lives right there.
It seems like half our listeners lived right there based on Twitter. I don't know, but
fucking bananas.
We're going clear across the country today to one of your least favorite states, Jimmy.
Oh, New Mexico.
You know it. Yeah. That's it, baby. I knew he'd know that. Jimmy is notorious for being an anti-New Mexico. He's not unabashed about it too. No. That's the other thing. He's completely unabashed.
Fuck that state.
He is to Mexico what a man standing in a Klan hood with a flamethrower or a torch up to a cross, right in public, just like, I don't care. That's what he is about New Mexico. If that was how you taunted New Mexico, that's what Jimmy would do.
Like David Duke running for office, not even hiding it.
Not even hiding it. Here I am. Well, we're going all the way to Flora Vista, New Mexico.
Okay.
Flora Vista. This is up in the Four Corners area.
Really?
Yeah, we were in north central New Mexico last time.
I've been in that area so many times.
Yeah, this is in that. Remember we had a trailer park shootout, I believe, in Chimayo?
Yeah.
The guy just popping shots off and hiding up in the woods and shit. And oh wow, it was crazy.
That
like
was
looking,
ridiculous.
Sniping at cops and all that. Well, this is up northwest corner of New Mexico. Okay. If you're not from the U.S. or just shitty at geography, there's the Four Corners area where four states come together and make a perfectly weird, plus sign.
Four corners,
perfectly
right
weird Four Corners. It's the only place where that happens, and so this is right there.
There's a little plaque on the ground. You can walk up and stand in Arizona and Colorado, Arizona and Utah, Arizona and New Mexico,
wherever you want,
or any of those four,
or lay down, get in a twister
lay
position.
Lay down and be in all of them,
baby.
Lay down and have your wife sit on. Put your head right there.
The glory.
And have your wife sit on your face. And you can munch her box in 4 states at once.
Oh, baby, 4 states. Where's it going to be? Where's it coming, honey? Where's it going? Where are you going to do it? Utah? All right. Fuck them Mormons.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hillbilly box eating on the Four Corners. Well, that'll be scared away everybody here with this. There's no hillbilly box eating at all in this, I promise you.
All right.
Flora Vista, New Mexico, northwestern New Mexico. Like I said, it's the county of where the Four Corners is, so it's in that area. It's This is truly in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. This is middle of God. And you've been in the Four Corners area. It is God-forsaken, no man's land. Yeah. There is nothing out there.
It's very strange that you'd think that would be right in some fucking mountains, and it's not.
No,
it's just on the edge of beauty.
But it's in the mountain. It's elevated.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's just a flat
area.
Yeah, they just elevated and flat up there. It's super weird. There's nothing but there's like mesas and all sorts of weird shit to look at. Middle of nowhere. The closest real place is Albuquerque, which is 3 hours away, which I still pretty much consider the middle of nowhere. Yeah. Albuquerque's a shithole.
Horrible.
Sorry, Albuquerque. But 3 hours to Albuquerque, about 6 hours to Denver, 6 hours to Phoenix. Yeah. It's just in the middle of nowhere. It's the way to put it.
It's like 8 hours to Salt Lake from there.
That's what I mean. It's so far from everything. Yeah. I mean, in 3 hours we can be in Albuquerque. Oh, wow. Oh.
Just think, if our car was full.
Put the kids in the back of the truck, honey. Let's do this. So it's in San Juan County up there. Zip code 97415. Area code 505, like most of New Mexico is, and it was all 505 for a while there.
There's like 7 people. You'll never run out of that area code.
Just keep going. Yeah. You got it. I know they put a new one in there, but still. 2.1 square miles this town is, so it's a small town kind of in the middle of nowhere. There's a couple of nearby towns, one of which had some brutal murders in it also.
Really?
It ties into this. That case and this case tie in so tightly that I actually was confused for the first part of my research.
Interesting.
Because they attribute this murder to somebody else in a couple of places.
Oh, no.
And so I was looking at, I screwed it all up.
What a bunch of dicks.
It's super weird. There's another case like literally the next town over.
Yeah.
That's just as crazy that we have to do sometimes.
Shitty New Mexico is.
Yeah,
they try so hard for nobody to know what's going on here.
Nobody cares. They're like, New Mexico, that's a state, right? They're like the Arizona Diamondbacks are to Major League Baseball. Like, if you haven't paid much attention to baseball, you're like, that's a team? Is that a real team?
They're still doing it,
Yeah, that's a minor league. Is that a real one? Oh, that's a Major League team.
They're still trying.
Like the Cardinals go there.
They won the World. Fuck out of here.
The Tigers go there. Just, okay. All right. Real teams go. Okay. I'm just checking.
Real teams play them.
So elevation of this place we normally don't give, but when it's this kind of anomalous, we have to. 5,509 feet of elevation here.
It's higher than Denver.
So it's higher than Denver. It's, I mean, this is a mile-high place. This is, it doesn't get the credit for it because nobody's there to see it.
Nobody gives a shit.
Motto for this town is, our motto sadly committed suicide 2 years ago, so we no longer have a motto. It's very sad.
Rest in peace,
Rest in peace. It was super bored. Yeah. There was nothing to do. It shot himself.
It jumped off the cliff.
It went out in a shed in the back and just shot himself. It was very sad. Very, very sad. Left a note.
Right.
And it was just bad things
on
and
the four
racial
corners,
slurs. So.
It munched the box of the neighboring town's motto.
It did, yeah. Got to keep their motto. Now, the history of this town, the only history here is conflict and strife. The West is like, it's a strange place, as we all know. If you're American, you probably would know this just from general movies and history. Right. But people, for the most part, didn't go out West because things were working out fantastically for them other places. I mean, some people did. Some rich people went out there to try to,
capitalize,
to have everything because here, there's other rich people there. There's nobody there yet. But for the most part, it was, well, I'm wanted in 4 states.
Right.
8 people want to kill me. Right. I'm busted out. I owe everybody money. 4 banks are after me. The Pinkertons are chasing me. Yeah. I think I'm going to go to New Mexico. That sounds good. Yeah. That's what people did in the West. So these were mainly
the land was so it was so threatening. You could die at any minute.
So it was like, if you had the balls to go out there, you could survive out there. You could kind of get away from shit, and so people did. It's modern day Alaska. Yeah. That's what people do in Alaska now. Right. It's like, what are you doing here? If you're not born in Alaska, if you're in Alaska and you see someone who's not born in Alaska, you go, you want to cruise right now? They say no. You go, what the fuck are you doing here? Be very suspicious because they're running from something. Something is after them. No,
and that's the only reason to go out on this run is just because you've got the benefit of getting there far outweighs staying there.
Yeah, no, it's true.
And the chance that you're taking to get there,
they're going to hang me if I stay here, so might as well go out there.
I'm dead either way.
So these are people with little to lose and moxie. We'll just say a lot of them. Obviously, the first people here were not that type. The first people here were natives. The Anasazi people.
That's where the Anasazis were.
They were in that area. Yeah, they built the Pueblo at the Aztec Ruins National Monument in the early 12th century. Around there, and by the 16th century, they were Pueblo and Navajo natives were all in this area here. So that was interesting. There was a war between the Navajos and the whites for centuries, obviously in this area, as just for most of everywhere in the West. Then the Spanish were there also. So the Spanish, and then also the Americans forced the Navajos into slavery and made them do shit, obviously, because, they show up, they're like, okay, well, they're not wearing a shirt. I guess we'll make them pick shit. Like, I really think that was the prerequisite.
Their shirt was painted on. Let's make them do some shit.
Like, if they knew that and they were all just like, oh shit, they're coming, everybody put your shirts on. I really feel like we could have avoided a lot of catastrophe. They would have just been like, oh, they're not, we can't take them. They have shirts. I don't know what it was.
Killed a few soldiers and took their uniforms, and then shit would have been a lot different.
Yeah, that's true. Damn, you got a good point. You should have been doing that. In 1864, American soldiers, led by Kit Carson, forced over 7,000, not 700,000. That would have been a real.
That's a lot.
That's a lot, especially for back
Carson
then.
Couldn't count that.
No, he'd be like, I don't know, a shitload of them. 7,000 Navajos to make the quote long walk there.
Oh, no way.
Where they walked them to. They established reservations at that point in New Mexico and northeastern Arizona. As we know, a lot of northern Arizona is reservation, and that goes the same as Mexico or New Mexico is the same way, especially this county. The Navajo Nation owns 60% of San Juan County, and the U.S. government, the federal government, owns 29% of the county.
Interesting.
So do the math. 11% of this county is privately owned.
That's crazy.
The rest of it is just already taken. So there's not a lot of privately owned land here.
Okay.
The San Juan County was established in 1887, and this is when shit got really crazy, because this is when, as soon as the white people showed up in droves, shit got wild.
It really did.
Because these were people running away from things, like we said, and rivalries again with the counties. I love when they fight over things and shoot each other over records. Imagine shooting a man over paperwork. Imagine you want the paperwork that's in that other building so bad. We're going to get together and figure out how to kill many of them, possibly burn most of their town to the ground so we can have that paperwork.
Sometimes at my job, when I need paperwork from another department, I would rather just fucking murder them.
Well, you know what? It's an option, apparently.
Because they are, fuck, man.
Just here's a tip, Jimmy. Make sure after you murder them, you got to burn the department down.
Yeah.
That's how they did it back then. That way you'd know, oh, fuck, now we have no place to put the records anyway. Yeah, we got to rebuild. We don't have time for paperwork.
We'll write new paperwork.
Jesus Christ. So, people came here looking to get away from other shit. The territorial government named the city of Aztec as the county seat of San Juan County. It's a very, very, very tiny town. This is all political wrangling bullshit. Sure. Okay, but there's a rivalry, obviously, among the different towns for who's going to be the county seat, because you get to keep the goddamn records. Holy shit. So the residents of Farmington, Junction City, Largo, and Mesa City all protested the appointment.
I know where all this shit is.
Yeah, you've been around there. And they all thought they should be the county seat. So they had an election in 1890, and it was nothing but controversy. Junction City received the most amount of votes.
Christ.
They beat Aztec by 9 votes, so there was calls of cheating, and Farmington only had 1 vote.
Well, it makes sense.
So no, and Mesa City had none. Not
a single one.
No one showed up, apparently.
Fuck voting.
So in 1891, a judge ordered the city of Aztec to move all the county records to Junction City, and so they moved all the county records, and everybody's happy, right, Jimmy? That's the end of it. Everybody goes, no. What they did was officials, the Aztec, the people in Aztec said that the election was illegal, and a judge investigated the election process and found discrepancies and illegal activities during the election, because it's an Old West election, for Christ's sake. There's probably people with guns to their head voting for shit.
Russia was meddling?
Yes. You know it was. Yeah. They're like, I don't even, bro, what is that? I don't even know where that is. You got a globe?
So you said Mesa just refused to vote at all?
They got no votes. Mesa City, no votes.
Now this
I think because they all threw their lot behind a certain town.
Wouldn't it be amazing, though, if we all just in this country just bought into that whole thing, and the next election just everybody was like, go fuck yourself. Nobody's going to say a word. What happens then?
Whoever's got the bigger family wins. I don't understand what you're talking about.
I mean, like,
I think it's better if everyone says a word.
Oh, I guess you got a point. I guess you got no. Obviously, that's the right way.
I think that's what they did last time, and look what happened. So,
I think you're right.
Apathy's probably the wrong answer.
You're right that if whoever has the biggest family wins, because they're just going to vote for whoever's in their family.
Exactly. Right. Like, well, I'm voting for my uncle. Right. Fuck it. At least I know him. I don't know the other guy.
Well, what if their family hates him?
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
I'm just saying, what if 0 votes are cast except for 1 each for themselves?
Yeah.
Then what the fuck happens?
I don't know.
Do we just keep what we've got?
You go to the Senate at that point if there's a tie, and then whoever's in charge there.
I guess they probably...
You can't get away from the red tape, Jimmy. It's not going to happen. We don't live in that. There's 330 million people in this country. We can't just go, I think Bob should be it. Yeah, Bob's a good guy. There has to be things, and we have to figure it out. I know it sucks. I like chaos and anarchy as much as the next guy, but we need something.
I'm just saying that you're probably right, and that the forefathers are probably like, what if nobody votes? They probably thought more about this than I did.
I think we should make the president live in a different house every 4 years.
You got a good point.
So you never know where it is, so that's not like part of the allure at all.
Right.
You might be in Lincoln, Nebraska for all we know.
You could be in Flint, Michigan tomorrow, motherfucker.
Yeah, you have no idea. Yeah. With no bottled water.
Yeah, I'll bet you that water gets cleaned up tomorrow.
with no Sparklets thing.
No Dasani.
Nope. Nothing happening there. So that would be an interesting thing.
Fuck my dumb ideas. That's a brilliant idea. Move that motherfucker around to the shittiest area of this country.
Like, yeah, and don't tell them till like inauguration day. You swear in, and then they'll be like, and you're going to Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Yeah, do a drawing.
Fucking. Damn, sorry, Flint and sorry, Michigan. By the way, we'll be in Detroit. We actually like Michigan, and people are cool.
The Fillmore,
but I think that would be really fun at that point. And just to see the look on the guy's face or the woman's
see the depression.
Just see them to try to hold it together when you tell them somewhere awful.
Las Cruces, New Mexico,
Scranton, Pennsylvania, and they're like, great,
fuck,
hardworking, blue collar kind of place, my kind of town.
You know how much money I just invested to be president? This is bullshit.
I live in fucking Scranton for 4 years.
That's not just the president, mind you. That's every motherfucker at the Senate, at the Congress, everywhere.
And you have to play golf in there too. You can't play golf anywhere good. You have to play golf wherever they put you. I feel like that would be a good thing. So then they'd be fucked.
Fucking 9-hole courses. Shit, Cleveland.
Oh man, enjoy everybody. Enjoy. So these people were fighting. This is obviously, they're going back and forth. Like we said, a judge investigated the election, said that there was illegal things, and he said that that Aztec was again the county seat. So the county rented a room from a local businessman for $10 a month to bring all. They needed to they didn't have a place for the records, and they were going back and forth. So they were just building temporary space for these records.
They were just storing it in Tom's unused basement.
He's got a closet, so we'll just do that. I don't know. It's so ridiculous. The whole thing's ridiculous. They built a jail in 1892, so you got to have a jail right away, obviously. Now, people started to, it's sort of pretty. I've said this before about New Mexico in this area. It's postcard pretty.
Yeah.
A picture of it is gorgeous. Yeah. It's beautiful, really. I mean, there's purple sunset and orange and these mesas, and it's gorgeous. But if you're standing there, you're like, Jesus, this is horrible. How do I leave? I hope my car doesn't break down because I'll die out here. That's how you're thinking. It's not pretty anymore. Right. It's just postcard pretty. So people saw it was very pretty back then, and some people lost their fucking minds and moved there around the turn of the 1900s.
Somebody
in
got
that area.
A postcard.
Somebody got a postcard, and they're like, this is phenomenal.
I gotta do it.
A lot of agricultural stuff popped up here. Fruit orchards, apples. There was tons of apple orchards in this area.
That makes sense.
Vegetable farms, all this type of shit. So apparently, if you stood up on a higher point and you looked over, there was a lot of different colors of trees and plants and fruits and the different colors of the red rocks and all that. So at one point it was very pretty back then. Still hell on earth, but pretty. Pretty hell on earth.
And hot as fuck.
Hot as balls up there.
Holy
it's hot.
Shit, is it hot?
It's hot there.
I've been to Farmington a handful of times, and
that's right by here.
That's way too many times.
It's awful.
Way too many times.
Way too much. By 1905, the Denver and Rio Grande Railroad had built railroad through the area, so people started bringing sheep and cattle and all that shit through there. It became a real town. And then there was 1950 is when the oil and gas industry really started here, and that's when people came to the area. Before that, it was just a couple of farmers and people that thought it was pretty. That's pretty much all that lived there. But it went huge around from 1950 on. The population of the county, the city of Farmington, increased 763% in 10 years.
Yeah,
so that was just a blow up because there's jobs there, so people went.
Wait till electricity happens and they have some of the biggest
power plants up there, huge
in the country.
Nothing else is up there. Might as well stick it up there.
You bet.
That's coal, natural gas, petroleum, everything there. Today, it's not. It's also, like we said, and you just said it right there with the electric grids or the electric whatever the fuck they are things up there. Also, there's tourism up there in the Four Corners area. So people drive through there on purpose to see that for some reason. I gotta see where 4 square boring states I don't give a fuck about intersect. I gotta look at it, eat my wife's box.
Right.
Fucking. Jesus.
Middle of the night. It's just a weird. It's the most bizarre thing because it's just a fucking marble slab on the ground, and I think you got to pay to get to it now.
Probably.
I'm pretty sure there's a fucking entry fee.
They built it. Well, I don't know if for Four Corners, but 2001 they built a huge stretch of highway out there, U.S. Highway 550, which made it easier to access, and then the tourism picked up after that. Now, population of this godforsaken place. Torture tortured souls that rest in this hellhole. 2,115 people live here, which is up 107% since 1990. So that's since more jobs have been there, and just out west, everything's blown up. Sure. Median age in this town, 46 and a half. So about almost 10 years older than the national average. Way more females than males because there's an older crowd. Yeah. Always going to be more females because, like we've said before, these son of a bitches outlive us all the time. Amazing. Nothing we can do about that. Married population in this town is about 70%. So that's way higher than the 51% average. So I think you're going to, that's also an ethnic thing because there's a lot of Hispanic people there. And I don't know if this is considered racist or considered just anecdotal what I've seen. It seems like Hispanic people are more likely to be married. I feel like if there's a stat of Hispanic and white people and their average age of marriage or their average marriages, I feel like the Hispanics are gonna, and they stay together longer. The
longevity is insanity. It's insanity.
Oh, they'll hate each other for forever. 30 years, but they'll stay together.
Call them a puto every day.
Yeah, they're like, we have pooled our resources and I ain't fucking breaking it up. Sorry. I want a pool and we're saving for it. So fuck you.
I drink Coronas, the little baby bottles, every Friday night. I'm just going to keep drinking them and put up with her.
So, actually, less widow people here than normal. More divorced people here. Less people married with children. A lot more people married with no children, which is usually older people. Usually not Hispanics. I'll say that fucking much right there. That is racist. So anyway.
Insanely racist.
Speaking of race in this town, it's about 63% white, which is exactly on the national average. 0.0% black. None at all.
That makes a lot of sense.
No Asian. 0.0% Asian. Even on the 1.
Even on the tourism spectrum.
Nothing.
There are no black people out there.
Nobody.
Fascinating.
No, fucking 8.7% Native American, which is normally under 1%. So that's going to be.
That feels low, actually.
That's what I said, too. And about 29% Hispanic, which is which you'd about expect there. And 41% of the people here are religious, which is lower than the national average of 50%. You got your about 10% Catholic, which is that's going to be your Hispanics there. You got almost 12% LDS.
Wow.
That's right by Utah.
Close enough.
Fuck there. That's an easy invasion right there. They're coming. 0.0% Jewish. I don't think so.
No.
They're like, fuck this place.
No way.
No, thank you.
No.
Moving on.
Unless we own the power plant, fuck it.
The motto killed itself. We're leaving. Sorry. 0.0% Islam also. I don't think so. Nope. Politically in this town, 35% or so are Democrat in this town and about 63% Republican, which is strange for this state because it's mostly a blue state in presidential elections.
It's also strange when you have that much blue-collar jobs around.
They're all blue-collar jobs, as we're going to find out.
It's bizarre for that many people to be Republican.
But the income's a little bit higher, as we're going to find out here. The unemployment rate's high, though.
They want to hang on to their money.
Well, unemployment rate's 9.1%, which is way higher than the national average. It's about 4% higher.
Thinking, though, I mean, on the Republican side, those people, they want to hang on to the roads. The amount of money it would take to make those roads drivable in terms of like comfort would be bananas.
Oh, yeah.
It would be more than what those fucking people make.
That's a federal project, those highways.
But I'm not talking about just the state stuff.
Oh, you're saying just any road.
Any road
just to make anything.
In that general area is fucked up.
There had to be industry there, to have any of that shit happening. The household income here is about $65,000 a year, which is it's normally about $54,000.
Yeah, that's a good chunk of change.
A little bit higher here in the jobs, like the mining jobs here. Normally it's 0.6% is the national average. Here it's about 12%. So you get a lot more of that here.
A little danger in your life.
So a little bit of danger, that sort of thing here. Overall cost of living, normal is 100, average is that's average or par or whatever you want to say. Here it's about 106. We have groceries are about the same. Healthcare, housing is a little bit high though.
Is that right?
Median home cost. I'm sorry, a little bit low. Median home cost in the country is $216,000. Here it's $193,000.
Okay.
So, but the house is actually there is not a lot available, and the ones that are, as we'll find out with the Flora Vista, New Mexico real estate report. Your average 2-bedroom structure, I guess, to rent. Apartment home is about $1,030 a month, which is about $200 less than the national average. 3-bedroom, 2-bath home I found here. It's about 1,372 square feet. It's a little rough. It's got kind of a chain link fence out front that's not all connected.
They're not all together.
It's a little messed up here.
A couple of poles missing.
A couple of poles, exactly. That's exactly what it is. A couple of caps missing on those poles. $180,000 for that bad boy.
At that point, those things are so fucking easy to build.
Yeah, they just leave it. I think to sell it, just build another one.
Jesus.
I found a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,553 square foot house. This one's put together nicer. It's cleaned up. The chain link fence is all nice and sturdy. $239,000. Still a little pricey for this particular home, if you ask me. And I found a 4-bedroom, 5-bath, 4,015 square foot home here.
Whoa.
This is really nice. And it's got pillars.
Waste.
It's there. Like, why? $549,900 to live in, what's the opposite of paradise? I don't know what the
Flora
word for that
Vista.
is. Flora. Oh, that's Spanish for opposite of paradise.
Right.
Okay, gotcha. Things to do. Outdoor shit.
Yeah.
Stare at a mesa. I don't know. There's
a lot of lakes around there that you can fish.
Shit to stare at. Also, the history hikes are back at the Farmington Museum, everybody. They're back.
Went away?
They were gone for a minute, but fuck you, they're back. If you think they were gone forever, you can suck a dick, fella, because they're back.
They're treating the mystery hikes. Is it mystery hike?
They're back. History.
Hike.
Join us on the second Saturday of the month, May through September, for a fun and informative hike that explores the cultural and natural history of the Four Corners region. Space is limited and registration is required to traipse through the woods. The program is for adults 16 years and older, includes transportation and lunch. They will take a 3.8-mile hike to look at foliage down through shit. It's $20 a person.
$20
to fucking walk 4 miles through the woods.
Jesus. And we're treating it like the McRib, like it's a big deal.
Jesus. That better come with a man to pick the ticks off of you afterwards, too. Some poor guy with a tweezers and a McRib. They hand a McRib to you and they go, "You've done it." And
Good Christ. It's back.
It's back. Crime rate in this town also back.
Yeah.
Property crime in this town is pretty low, actually. It's like 2/3 of the national average. So it's pretty low, about 1/3 less than the national average. So not bad at all there. Violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, and assault. Obviously, the Mount Rushmore of violent crime is just about at average, slightly below, but pretty much right at about average. So more likely to kill you than steal your shit in this particular town. And let's talk about some people who were killed, or some person that was killed, and let's get into murder. And I had to this case here, like I said, it started out with I found this murder and it was attributed to somebody else. Accidentally, I found out later. So I started getting into that person, but I already had a big backstory of the actual murder covered and researched. So then I'm researching this person, and I'm like, this is not the same person they were talking about before. How did they both kill the same person? Neither of them are coded. What the fuck is going on? Right. And I'm sick, and I'm trying to fight through a Dayquil Haze snot mind and figure this shit out. And finally sorted it out and found this case, and I like it because it's not over. We've had a lot of very personal cases lately. Very personal. Like, I'm going to torture you because you fucked my girlfriend. Or the other one was like, I want to get rid of this one so I could be with some other woman. And I mean, it's just all very, very, very personal. So I wanted to do more of a random this week, because I've had random shit happen to me this week, and it reminds me of it. Quick story, very quick sidetrack, and then it is murder time, I promise. We're selling our old house. As you know, we rented this house. We rented this house here with the studio and all that. So our other house is for sale, and it's actually sold.
You have to preface this that this, by the way, is about to be fucking disgusting.
This is horrific, by the way. We will try not to put a Blue Apron ad after the story, because that would not be fair to Blue Apron. So we're selling this home, and it's only about 2 miles from the house we're in now. So we check on it all the time and shit. And the neighborhood it's in is not the best. It is directly down the street from a methadone clinic. This is why we beg for Patreon money and shit to get me away from a methadone. Jesus Christ.
To get him out of Indianapolis.
Get me out of Minneapolis. Because I can see I can't say methadone and you can't say. So there we go.
It's Annapolis. I'm on board.
Anyway, So we move out of there. The house is sitting there. We sell the house. Yeah. It's closing in 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks now. So we're like, this is terrific. We go there the one day, and someone had broken into this house. Yeah. Okay, they'd broken into our house.
No idea what this person is.
No, they didn't break anything. This is the thing. Broke in through a window, like pried it open, and then closed it behind them when they left.
So nice.
Didn't break anything. Didn't like rip anything up or kick holes in the walls. What they did do, though, was give themselves an enema. I know this because my toilet was clogged and there was a bum enema on the floor. So...
Who the fuck does that?
And then gave themselves a bath, did not clear the water out, and stole my shower head. So I don't even know what the fuck to make of that.
What kind of caper is that?
What the fuck kind of a goddamn master criminal did this shit? So that's not what you want to see.
No.
When you're, oh, look, a bum enema. That's wonderful. I love it. That's great. Yay.
It's either that or a neighbor ate so much cheese and was like, I can't
do this
mess
to my
either.
toilet. I can't get to the 7-Eleven, so let's just bust into there.
That is fucking amazing.
So I figured from me being violated by a stranger, let's talk about other people violated by strangers. People that deserve it even less than me.
Yeah,
it makes me feel better. Right. You know what I mean? That it doesn't just happen to me. It happens worse to others. And
it's the greatest goddamn story that ever happened.
A bum enema. And we're like, that's great. So $200 later for a fucking plumber because I wasn't going to unclog the bum enema because the toilet was clogged. There was toilet paper in it, and I don't know, God knows what else in there. And I'm like, I'm not digging into that. No fucking way. No fucking way. No, because it's not. It doesn't take a lot of math. Junkies are constipated.
Right.
Opiates constipate you. There's a methadone clinic up the street. Right. 1 + 1 = fucking 2 here. Come on, Jesus Christ!
That's amazing.
That was it. Air conditioning was turned down, and the fucking bum enema.
They got comfortable.
They put it down to 74. Those motherfuckers. They got comfortable. Like it's because we had it turned up because we're not living there. It was on like 85. You know. Nope. They're like, let's turn this down. They're in
Holy shit.
They're in a bath. Their fucking intestines cleared out, feeling comfortable and good. Sitting in that bath.
You did not tell me.
Yeah. They set the AC down like assholes. So I know this is a long sidetrack, but this was really traumatic. And you know what? This goes along with this is crime. Fuck you guys. It happened.
He murdered your toilet.
Murdered the toilet, fucked up the tub, stole the shower head, and cranked my AC down to 72. It wasn't like a rape, but he definitely tried to jerk me off when I wasn't looking. You know what I'm saying? It's not as bad as a... And we had to call the cops, obviously, just to have the record of it. And
that was uncomfortable.
I had to tell them they just shit, really, because they're like, "What'd they do?" Like, "Well, they shit." How do you know? Well, there's a bum enema and the toilet's clogged, so that's a good way. They're like, "All right then." Like all of our detective work, they're like, yeah, that's probably right. And then they're like, do you want to press charges? I'm like, what are you going to go out and look for this guy? Like who's the mad shitter? I'm going to go out and hunt this man. You're not looking for him, number one. And number two, for what? I'm going to press charge. I'm going to go to court and go, that man shit up my house. I want him put in jail. I don't know what I don't press charges. I don't know. He obviously needs a place to shit, so he's got other problems besides.
Let's set up some sort of social structure that gets these people enemas and toilets.
Gets them fucking toilets. I didn't know that was such a problem.
That's
clear it out.
Amazing.
So, on to murder.
Oh my God. I can't believe that they moved the AC.
That was amazing. Turn it down.
Why is it so nice in here? What the fuck is that?
That was the thing. Sarah walked in and went, why is it so cool in here? It shouldn't be this cool in here. And then was like, why is there? Oh, that's disgusting. She's like, has anyone been here? I'm like, what do you think? So what do you think? The realtor came over and gave themselves a fucking enema. Hold on, before we buy the house, I want to test out the plumbing real quick. Honey, get my enema.
Was there an open house here this weekend?
Yeah, I'm going to blow this bowl up, and then we're going to see if the plumbing can handle my.
Oh my God!
Big charcuterie board last night, so I'm going to see if it can handle the salty, fatty porks that I've ingested and fire that bad boy out like a missile. We'll see what happens.
Sweet fuck. Oh my Christ,
Okay.
that's amazing.
We could do an entire show on
This
that
could just
caper.
go all
The caper of the bum enema.
Yeah.
That would be the name.
So good.
The caper of that. But we have murder to discuss. We do.
Now back to the show. Holy shit.
All right. Oh, boy. Okay. On to this murder here that we have to talk about. Let's talk about the second worst crime of the week. No, this is way worse than the bum enema, but it's still, the bum enema is violating.
It's pretty up there.
Let's talk about a young lady, shall we? Let's talk about Sandra Phillips.
Okay.
She's 17 years old, back in 1994. So she is, so that's a teenager kind of. Yeah. That's pretty much, she's a year older than me. So that's interesting. She's about, so I know what she's all about.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure she's, I can see how she's dressed.
Yeah.
I can see what she's like.
Yeah.
I feel it. You feel her. Yeah. You got the same thing. But I don't know what it was like growing up in New Mexico. Of course, she did live in Phoenix for a while also. Yeah, she lived in Phoenix, and then her brother took her to live with her mother near Flora Vista, New Mexico, which seems like a terrible, if you're a 17-year-old, you live in Phoenix. Phoenix is a big city. There's, some shit to do at least. There's stuff going on. Flora Vista, there is nothing. No. We told you the things to do, and it is hike and pay money to walk through the woods. Right. That shit'll cost you. Yeah. So not a lot to do there. She lives with her mother near Flora Vista, kind of right on the outskirts. It's, the little town. It's 2.1 square miles, and then there's little houses kind of right around that little actual town proper. That's where they are here. She has a friend named Lacey Minor. She hung out with Sandra Phillips all the time. They were both into cheerleading. They both they were cheerleaders, and they both really dug animals, as a lot of teenage girls do, and younger girls. They like animals, as young kids do. And my daughter loves cats.
Everybody wants to be a vet.
Oh my God, if you ask every 9-year-old girl what do they want to be, 87% of them will say they want to be a vet. It's the weirdest fucking thing. They either want to be a vet or the president, one of the two. They have
They love animals and bossing people.
That's it, yeah, perfect. If they could find a job bossing animals, you'd really have something.
That's an
here.
8-year-old girl in a nutshell.
Yeah, really. I've had them. You have one. I
have one
currently,
right now.
She is
a roasting son of a bitch.
Absolutely. So Sandy had a pet iguana that she was super, super into, and that she took around places. I don't know. She lives in New Mexico. I guess that's normal based on New Mexico.
They're kind of wild there, aren't they?
Yeah, I guess. Just pick one up by the tail. I got it. There it is. Are they done their tails fall off, though?
No, they're pretty stiff.
Yeah, iguanas are dicks. I don't like iguanas.
I think that's all bone on an iguana.
Oh, my stepfather had an iguana at one point for some reason.
They'll hit you with that fucking tail.
Oh, it whipped him good. He was all bloody one time. He was a dick, this thing, but it got out one time and got out into the house, and they were like, after 3 weeks, they were like, well, it must be dead. Yeah. And then all of a sudden it was hanging on the blinds.
Oh my God.
On the inside of the house, and it was, I don't know, 20 times the size it was when it was in its cage. When it left, it was this little tiny thing that you pick up in your hand, and now it was a fucking monster.
Full grown.
It was a fucking monster.
It's a dinosaur in your house now.
It was the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life, hanging off the thing. I was like, oh my God, what the fuck is going on? Yeah,
Where's the house cat?
I didn't. It was bigger than a cat. It was a fucking kid mauled a cat. That thing was nasty. So, but anyway, Sandy had plans for the future. She was a smart kid. She was everybody said she was very nice. She loved her animals, and she wasn't a dick. She was just a nice kid. Typical teenage kid. She wanted to be like her mom, who was a nurse. So she wanted to go to nursing school after high school. Her and her friend Lacey were all excited because they had it worked out. So they had it all planned that they were going to go to nursing school together to help each other. They take classes, try to get in the same classes together so they could carpool and do all of that shit. So nice, right? That's good. They have plans for the future. That way they could study together and all that sort of thing. But, that's what people do. We could go to this college together and it'd be really fun. And, whether you follow through on that or not is one thing, but we've all had those conversations.
Learn how to give each other enemas and houses
that's what you do. You're just like, hey, check it out. You just stick this right up your ass. Wait, turn the AC down first. No, it's got to be cold. That's the only thing I know about enemas is apparently it has to be 74 degrees to administer them. That's the only fucking thing I know about them.
You have to be insanely comfortable.
You have to be super bathed. Fucking Jesus Christ. I'm surprised there wasn't a fancy bath bomb wrapper in there or something. Just
something from Lush.
Yeah, just something real fucking ridiculous, just
all natural.
Either that or just a big thing of Mr. Bubble. Just going old school with it.
Perfect.
Now, it's February 7th, 1994. Like we said, she lives with her mom, Flora Vista. She has friends. She does things, but it's a small town, and there's not a lot to do. She needs a job. She's 17. She's looking for like a job just to make extra money, and for Christ's sake, find something to fucking do. This is pre-internet, everybody. So back then, if you wanted to find a job, you couldn't just be like, I'm going to sit here and pick my ass and get on my phone and apply for like a bunch of jobs.
You had a newspaper every day.
You had to get a fucking newspaper. Either that, or if you lived in like a small town like this, you had to get up out of your fucking couch and put clothes on and make yourself look as nice as you could, and then go to these places physically and say, may I please have an application to give you? And they'd hand you a piece of paper that you would have to embarrassingly fill out for 45 fucking minutes, and then hand them back to them so they can read it in front of you and decide whether you're worthy to fucking talk to for 3 minutes.
And in front of other customers go, what was the highest grade of education, y'all?
To make $5.50 an hour back then. So that's what having a job was as a teenager in the 90s. Now it's a little bit different.
You have to proclaim that you're still a junior in high school in front of some dick that's trying to put gas on pump 4.
I'm in school still. Right. So she leaves, she called from home. Her mother was at work, and she was at home, and she calls from home, Sandra does, at 12:40 p.m., so middle of the afternoon on February 7th, 1994. She said she's going to walk into town and apply for jobs. She's just going to walk up and down the main drag there and a couple of streets and just apply everywhere she can, basically. She's fucking bored.
Everything that says help wanted will get my embarrassing fucking resume.
I've pretty much done that as a teenager, too, where you go in and apply for 20 jobs in a day.
What's the first place you got turned down to work at?
Oh, God, I don't even remember.
It's embarrassing. I'll tell you mine.
I don't remember.
I walked right the fuck to Subway on my 16th birthday.
Yeah.
I filled out an application, and the manager looked at it and goes, not now.
You're not ready.
Yeah.
You need a little extra seasoning.
That's what he said to me.
You're not
ready? He said I'm not qualified. I'm like, to
do
fucking
what?
Put meat and cheese on a fucking bread?
Not qualified.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Not qualified. How could you not be qualified for that? This is bread. This is meat. You put the bread on the meat. And then you close it. Put the meat on the bread, and then you close it. See, if you put the bread on the meat, you fucked it all up. Never mind. Done.
He was probably right, because I was a fucking idiot.
You were an idiot.
But I walked over to Peter Piper, and they hired me 10 minutes later. So.
Yeah, I had a job when I was like 14, because it was illegal, of course, but I was back home, nothing was legal. Like, I don't know anybody that had like a real inspection sticker that actually had their car inspected, like, because you have to have an everybody knows a guy for $10, they'll just put a sticker on it. Nothing is on the up and up in New York. Nothing is. And nothing, even the jobs weren't. Well, my cousin worked in a beer distributor, and my dad talked to the guy, so I went in there and he hired me, even though it was very illegal, and he paid me like cash under the table and all that shit. That doesn't happen out here. It was everybody back there. Nothing was on the up and up.
This is the Wild West. There's no stipulation. There's no, when was the last time you had your car inspected here? You know,
there's no inspection at all here. Well, they have emissions here, though. That's a different
thing. Enough, I suppose.
But there you'd have to have the sticker. I literally have never known a human being that went to a place and like made an appointment and did it. It was just Frankie will look at it. He knows a guy who's got stickers, and that was the end of it.
I don't even know what the emissions place does. They plug some shit in my car, and then they go, all right, have a nice day.
$28, please.
Give me $28. Now you can go spend money at the DMV and go buy your plates. Thanks, bud.
Thanks a lot.
Appreciate you.
So,
whatever the fuck you just did to my car.
Thanks for plugging something into my gas tank, or whatever the fuck they do. So, the mother says here, her daughter Sandra said she's going into a town to apply for jobs, but the mother said, hey, you're supposed to vacuum, you're supposed to clean up the house. She says, I'll do it when I get home. I want to get these job hunt over with. You don't want to go in there at 6 o'clock applying for a job. It's best to go. She should have been going at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Right, you're going at noon at fucking
fine.
Lunch rush?
After the lunch rush, I guess. Who knows here? Now, sometime between 12:30 and 1:30 on February 7th, people see her walking in Flora Vista. This is less than a mile from her house, by the way. This is not like way on the other side of town. This is a mile from the house. She's seen walking toward a convenience store. there, which, like I said, this particular convenience store is less than a mile from her home. Okay. So she's right there. A bunch of people said that they saw her walking around all different parts of town. Like she was seen over there. You know, I saw her on the corner of this and that. Oh, yeah, I saw her at that store over there. Yeah, she was in the Denny's there, or whatever the fuck, the restaurant. Yeah, she was seen all around town, which is consistent with what she said she was doing. She's going around applying for jobs. So she would literally be all over the place. So she was. And also there's a record of her going to the Flora Vista Water Users Association. Okay. And she paid her mother's water bill there. So she's running errands. She's applying for jobs. She's walking around doing shit. That was probably how she got out of vacuuming.
Yeah.
She's like, tell you what, I'll vacuum later. I'll pay the water bill now. You don't have to go on your lunch break. What do you say?
I'll go down there for you.
Once again, everybody, in 1994, you had to sometimes physically take something to a building and hand it to someone. Right. You couldn't just go bloop and then it worked.
And you could take cash. That's the weirdest part.
They'll take cash. They don't give a shit.
Anything.
Now, they probably could mail it in also, but probably not if you're late on it and it's the 7th. So maybe they were late on their payment and trying not to get dinged for a fine or something. I don't know. They don't have the most money, these people. I don't know if they're poor, but they're not wealthy. I know that much for a fact. So she's seen all over the place, like we said. She applies for a job at a restaurant. They have an application of a job that she applied for at a restaurant. So the afternoon goes by. Her mother gets home from work, and she's still not home. Okay. She says, my floor, A, is dirty, so this is a fucking problem. Sandra, where are you? And she finds out she can't find Sandra. So she's like, okay, maybe she's ran into her friends or something. Who the hell knows? But this is unlike Sandra. She's a nice kid who likes an iguana. Like, she's not reliable. She's very reliable. She's not known as somebody that kind of goes off. I was going to say goes off the reservation, but you in the northwestern New Mexico, you have to be very specific about that. You might as well be. Yeah, it could actually be the reservation. So she's not somebody that wanders off, though. That doesn't really happen here. So her mother becomes concerned, obviously, over the course of the evening when her daughter's not home and she doesn't get any phone calls from her daughter. Nothing. No one's heard from her.
This is now the evening.
This is now the evening. Yeah, she gets home from work and she says, okay. So the mother calls the police, which seems reasonable. She calls the police to report that her daughter is missing and she should be around and isn't. But after she calls the police, she also goes looking for the daughter because it's a fucking small town. Yeah. And if your kid's missing, it's a 2 square mile town. It's right there. You're going to go search around. And so she does. She goes looking for her at the restaurant. She goes looking for her at the convenience store. She figures she might have stopped for a drink. She asked them if they had seen her. The restaurant says, yes, she was here. She applied for a job here. So she's kind of retracing her steps, doing the police work for the police at this point. Now, Lacey Minor, again, she talks about trying to find the family and her trying to find Sandra, and it was so hard they couldn't find her. She was the mother, Darlene is Sandra's mother, Darlene Phillips. Yeah. She calls Lacey in the evening and tells her that Sandra's disappeared. And, she doesn't know what the hell to do. Have you seen her? Have you heard? Did she tell you anything? Right. Basically, like, even if she said not to say anything, you could tell me, please.
Please tell me.
We're super fucking worried and all that. And Lacey Minor hadn't heard anything. Nothing. She really just didn't know anything. So she didn't know what to do. Everybody stayed up all night. Nobody slept. They said everybody sat around waiting for her to come home. And she didn't come home. So the next day, they all talked to the police, including Lacey Minor, because she's closest friend to her, and the mother. They talked to police the next day. They immediately put up posters. Yeah. Like, they're aggressively looking for their daughter. Like, this isn't like, well, I guess they're missing. Right. We've seen some of these families are just not. They're not the best families. Some of the families, when something happens to a kid, a lot of times
the reaction time is slow.
The reaction time's a little bit slow. Yeah. They're like, wow, they don't see, they're just not on the ball for whatever reason, whether it's sometimes it's drugs and sometimes it's just general apathy. Sometimes it's whatever it is.
Grasping the urgency of the situation.
Yeah, they don't grasp it and they don't care and they get that head start. These people, the next morning they were up, they're making posters, they're talking to police, they're trying to find them. They put posters up all the way in Flagstaff, which is, probably 4 hours from there.
It's a good clip.
Prescott, which is another hour down. Holbrook, which is northeastern Arizona, kind of on the way from Phoenix to New Mexico. If you take that, what is it, the 87? You take that
goes
weird.
Up through Flagstaff and then over.
That's the 40 and the 17, but if you take the 87, the beeline.
You can hit it over there too?
If you take the beeline, it goes up to, you can meet the, what are you kidding me? If you're ever driving east, never fucking drive up the 17. Don't be an idiot. Drive up the 87 and hit that way. Now that we've done Northern Arizona traffic time with James and Jimmie. Hey, look at this.
That 87 is the most dangerous strip of freeway in Arizona.
It's super dangerous, but you'll get there way faster. You're going to save
if
like
you get
20
there,
minutes.
It'll be so much quicker.
I never not take that way. Give me a break. So, all the way down to Phoenix. So 6 hours away, they were putting up posters because she's from Phoenix, or she lived in Phoenix
that makes
too.
Sense, yeah.
So they don't know, and they basically put posters all the way on the way to Phoenix, both directions. Whether you go down the 87 or the 17, there's pictures. In Phoenix, there's pictures because they think maybe she ran away. They don't know because the cop said she lived in Phoenix. Okay, then she's recently moved here. Well, she's a teenager.
Maybe she went the fuck back.
Maybe there's a boy that she was seeing back there. Maybe there's something. Maybe there's this. Maybe there's that. So
maybe it's just Flora Vista versus Phoenix, and she chose the right answer.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Yeah, she was like, I'm going to the no. And Phoenix, by the way, is awful.
Yeah,
Trust me,
it's the worst.
By the way, we'll be here on November 5th, I think in this awful town
over at the venue
on a fucking Monday night in a venue that's way too big. So come see us there, or watch us have a complete fucking meltdown in our hometown. Either one. Something's going to happen. I'll tell you that much.
It's going to be so packed.
It's going to be amazing.
Get your asses there.
You better be fucking packed. I'll come to your houses. Where the fuck are you?
We'll drag you there.
You love the show, do you? Well,
heard you like my show.
There. Yeah. Well,
prove it, motherfucker.
Where are you on a Monday night, cocksucker? You don't love us then, do you?
I'll tell you where we are.
Yeah, we're on a goddamn stage. That's fine. Okay, so anyway, she's missing here, and they ask Lacey about, she said this whole period was horrible because this goes on for weeks. Days turn into weeks.
They're looking for her?
She's gone. They're looking for her. There's not a trace, nothing. And this is a lot like the recent thing in Iowa. The was there Molly Tibbetts girl who just disappears. And this happens a trillion times a day, and we get that it happens. Right. Tons of women of color and all that shit. They get it a lot more, and it doesn't get advertised.
When it's a cute white girl, Jay,
it's out there, especially with a picture of like a college thing on. But we're saying in the news, this has been out in the news a lot lately, and this is kind of the same thing of everybody's like, what the fuck here is happening. So it was sort of that thing. It goes on for 6 weeks of... They just, fuck, man. They said that they didn't know where she was. Obviously, they were worried about her. They didn't know if she ran away, or they didn't know if somebody took her. They don't know. Because she's 17, so it's also possible and reasonable that she ran away. That happens a lot. I just saw a thing like 2 weeks ago of a girl who emerged at 19 now, who ran away when she was 14.
And she was just like, now I can tell y'all.
She was a missing person, and she got tracked down, and the police went to her, and they were like, you're a missing person. Did you know that? And she said, I fucking disappeared on purpose, and now I'm an adult, and I don't want to be found.
You can say.
So fuck off. And they were like, bye, all right, you're an adult, you don't have to be anywhere. So it's people do that.
She outlived the placement back to her
parents.
Right.
That's exactly right. She was like, go fuck yourself. I hate those people. I don't want anything to do with them. Slam the door. Fucking awesome. It's like, good for you. Good for you.
You're amazing.
Yeah,
Can
good
I
for
tell
you,
you
sweetheart.
that?
So,
you ever thought of running for president?
Yeah, you should, because you're a badass. You don't give a fuck.
I know you're not 8 anymore.
That's all right, though. So they said every time the phone rang, they would jump up and hoping that it was her, or hoping it was someone telling them where she was. The mother was the one, because you're dealing with northwestern New Mexico police here too. So this isn't the biggest. I don't know. I wouldn't trust these fucking people either. We'll put it that way. No offense to them up there, but this isn't the most crack police force in the world, probably.
You don't have a deep receiving pool.
That's the other thing. Not a lot of people. This doesn't. They don't deal with this very often either. Is the other problem. It's mainly not even a lack of training or lack of intelligence or whatever. It's a lack of experience in this sort of thing. In L.A., fucking people disappear all the time. They know how to look for them. You know, it's a thing that happens. So Darlene, the mother, Darlene Phillips, she's following all the leads. She's talking to the people. She's out and walking around in the streets with a picture just saying, have you seen my daughter? Do you know my daughter? Have you ever seen my daughter? At one point, her and her son, Sandra's brother, went to Colorado to talk to a psychic. I mean, that's where they are. After a few weeks, they're fucking tapped.
They went that far.
Well, you have to do something. I feel like that's what it is. At first, you go out, you look, you search, you put up posters. It feels like you're doing something. You ask people. But after a while, you're in a town of 2,200 people or 2,000 people. You've asked everybody there is. You've gone everywhere. You've put up posters. There's nothing more you can do.
You got to resort to, it was clearly somebody blowing through town.
You're doing something.
Somebody's got to know something. Let's try one of these psychics.
Fuck it. It's better than nothing. Right. So that's all it was, though. They said they got up every day. They went to work. The mother said, quote, "We got up every day and we went to work. We slept, but it wasn't life. It wasn't a life for 6 weeks." Now, February 24th, 1994, the sheriffs here, the county sheriffs, talked to a man named Timothy C. Allen. So Timothy Allen, we'll call him.
Allen?
Tim Allen, baby. Yeah.
Tool-time Tim.
This guy here, the thing is, no matter what Tim Allen, I mean, we could talk, Tim Allen might end up killing 30 people in the story. We don't know. Even if he does, the other Tim Allen's a worse human being probably than him. I think he's worse. I think I hate him more anyway. I don't know. Maybe I just,
at minimum,
maybe I just fucking hate Home Improvement and everything that man represents to comedy is the fucking worst bottom of the barrel, lowest common denominator horseshit.
White privilege, a
just
fucking
dumb privilege.
Cocaine trafficking son of a bitch is one of the richest fucking quote unquote comedic actors in America.
And he's family. He was the Santa Claus.
Right.
He's a family. He's Mr. Family Guy. Or no, not Mr. Family Guy. That's that's Seth MacFarlane.
Right.
But he's Mr. Family Man.
Before Seth MacFarlane was out there singing show tunes, being a closet homosexual.
Yeah, he was out there. I don't even know would you call him closet? I don't think he's closet. Let's be honest here. I'm serious. I'm not. Right. I think Seth MacFarlane's the most talented motherfucker around, and I don't care who he fucks, but I don't think he's hiding much. Really,
he was banging.
He's always seen with women though. I've seen. Yeah, he's whatever. I don't really care. But we're way off because we don't care who fucks who or what or whatever. We're just.
It's just fascinating.
It's just funny. Yeah, I don't know. It's just exactly fascinating. Right. We're nosy. It's more just gossip. Is all it is.
We're gossipy bitches.
I don't care. I just want to know because everything's my business. So it works. You know?
And if it wasn't, TMZ wouldn't exist.
Exactly. That's the point. We're a nose. I'm a curious. Look at what I do for fucking I'm a curious person. I see there's a murder. I'm like, well, let's find out all about it. What about that town? What do they do? What's the parade like there every year? I'm an asshole. I like this shit. You know, you too. We're both assholes. So Tim Allen, the lesser Tim Allen. This guy, I guess, because he has less money than Tim Allen. So we'll call him lesser Tim Allen, even though the other one's worse. You get it.
Lesser net worth Tim Allen.
Yeah.
Right.
He has a meeting with an off-duty sheriff's deputy and the deputy's wife on an unrelated matter.
Okay.
Now, we don't know what the unrelated matter was. All we know is it's some sort of legal matter, and why the fuck was the deputy's wife there also? Yeah. This makes no sense. I don't know if maybe he had a beef with the deputy's wife or his wife had a beef with the deputy's wife or somebody that he knew, and then the cop got whatever it is, whatever it was, they're having some sort of meeting about some other unrelated matter. Yeah. Tim Allen and the sheriff. Now, this Tim Allen says, unprompted to the sheriff, because it's about something totally different, that he was waiting for a friend at the convenience store in Flora Vista back on February 7th when Sandra disappeared, and that he saw her walking and saw her go into a couple of buildings while he was waiting. He saw her like walking around. She went in a building, came out of a building. Now, later on at a different meeting, because I don't know what the negotiations were like between this guy, the spouse, and the fucking spouse's wife, but God damn it. The later meeting, both the deputy and the deputy's wife saw Sandra Phillips' name written in red ink on a page of Tim Allen's daily planner.
What the fuck?
That was under the date of February 7th. So they saw that. They both claim to have seen that. Okay. Now, you obviously are curious about Tim Allen, I would think, at this point. Not only does he have a name that's stupid, but he's also... I want to know what the hell the other unrelated matter is, number one. And number two, why does he have a missing teenager's name written in red.
In red.
In red, under the date on the plan, because it's a day planner, under February 7th, he's got her name written in there, which is super fucking weird. Well, we'll find out with him. Alan is a carnival worker.
Oh.
Which is probably the least trustworthy job in America. Number one, first of all, they're transient.
Right.
I have actually known a carnival worker well. There's a guy, a quick story. I've told the story about my friends who robbed the concession stand at the Little League and got away with garbage bags full of candy, and my friend with the spree and the cops coming in the package of spree. Well, the guy who initiated that whole thing started out with a carnival worker named Satanic Bill that we all knew.
I think you mentioned that in that too.
Satanic Bill lived with my friend Kevin for some reason. He let him. There was a carnival in the parking lot next to his house, and somehow the carnival left, and Satanic Bill lived in my friend Kevin's basement.
Stuck around.
Don't understand it.
He quit the carnival.
He was
And now he's Ocean's 11ing
dude,
a candy heist
with teenagers. This guy was like 27 years old. We were like 15 years old. That's the other fucking thing.
That's amazing.
So he's hanging out with kids. He introduced my friends. Two of my friends became crackheads, smoking crack with this fucking guy. He was the worst. He carried a gun all the time for no reason. The worst human being ever. His name was Satanic Bill. That's what we called him.
He's got underground drills for stealing spree.
Oh, God. It's fucking amazing. So carnival workers, awful people. So this is what we're dealing with here. He's a carnival worker with a criminal history, which honestly, that has to be on your application too, as a carnival worker. Like, we're sorry, you don't have enough felonies for this. Kind of like you with the subway. They're like, you're underqualified.
Maybe that's what it was.
They were like, we're sorry, you go get yourself a couple felonies, do a little time, get a couple of white pride tattoos in the can, and then come back and we'll maybe hire you.
This is back before Subway was the biggest fast food chain in America. It was when they still had
in the 90s. It was kind of good.
Yeah,
it was when they still cut the bread in the weird triangle and stuck the little strip on top. I know what you're talking about.
Now they split it in half.
Yeah, now they make it like the rest of the universe makes a sandwich. We've figured it out.
Right.
Everyone's been making a sandwich wrong for centuries. No, they haven't actually. The best delis in the world. They don't know what they're doing. You cut the top into a V, put all the meat on, and then just stick that on top like a fucking cherry.
It took so long for them to cut that fucking bread, too.
Because they would miss and be like, oh, shit, it's deeper over there. No, it's deeper. It'd be crooked. The fucking disaster. You can't fit anything. And you have to hold it like a trumpet, too, when you're putting it in your mouth, because otherwise the fucking top would fall off and it's a disaster. What a mess.
And they have that shit crab meat.
Ah, go and you don't want that.
No, some of the weirdest sandwiches.
I just got the brown roast beef. I know what I'm doing. I mess with that shit. Just get the brown roast. It's brown, it's thick, and it tastes fine. Whatever. So he has a criminal history, like we said, a prerequisite for carnival work. He's had a DUI or two, we don't know, in the past, which, like we said, that's normal.
I'm surprised he had a car to drive.
That's shocking. Maybe he was like one of the bumper cars or something. Is all we can. Just drove it off the lot there.
Electric
big pole sticking up there. That's how they caught him. He was trying to make a run for it. Yeah, he was trying to make a run for it. They're like, I can see his pole above traffic. Just keep following it. He can't get away.
He's not going very far.
Not going very far. He's got a flag hanging off it. Come on. So
when this road goes uphill, it's going to stop.
It's over. It's over at that point.
This chase is done.
Also in 1982, and details are very sketchy on this, but in 1982 he attacked a young woman. We're unsure of it if it was a physical or a sexual manner, but from everything I've read in these fucking court, in court they danced around it like what it was, but they didn't spell it out. So it seems like it was a sexual assault of some kind. He didn't kill this woman, but there was some sort of violent assault on this woman who then survived.
She had injuries
to turn him in.
Wow.
And he got in trouble for that at that time, and she'll come up later on as well. So, and the funny thing is, as we know, if you follow killers and that sort of thing, any sort of killer shit, there's a progression a lot of times, and a lot of times if you let somebody go and then you get caught for it, next time you're like, well, I know not to let that motherfucker go.
You betcha.
Instead of going, well, I won't do that anymore, they go, well, next time I got to kill him. Jesus Christ, what was I thinking? Someone's got to die. Also, if that's not enough for you, he had recently checked himself into a mental institution for a while.
Good God.
And had recently gotten out. And hey, guess what? Everybody, if you've got problems and you need help, you go ahead and you check yourself into an institution. institution. Go ahead, knock yourself out. Good luck to you. I hope you get the help you
Succeed.
need. If you are a carnival worker with a criminal history who just got out of a mental institution, then I'm going to look at you sideways because that's strike 1, strike 2, strike 3. The mental institution's like strike 9. Right. I'm not even worried about that. Way more worried about the carnival
Just
work.
go piss on a cop car and stay in jail for a while.
That's it right there. That's perfect.
Do us a favor.
Just keep doing that, like just county stretches in county for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month at a time.
And when you get out, find another one, piss on it again.
Now you know what's up.
Keep going.
His mother, this is how his mother describes him, okay? His own mother, this is her description of him. Quote, he's killed a cat, tripped his sister down the stairs, punched his sister in the stomach while she was pregnant, liked to fight, and generally liked to hear the sound of breaking glass.
Wow.
That's her description of her son.
Good dude.
In a nutshell.
Yeah.
Just, killed the cat, tripped his sister down the stairs, punched his pregnant... I like how she said it, too. Punched his sister in the stomach while she was pregnant. Not punched his pregnant sister in the stomach.
Not attempted murder a baby.
And then, if you punch a woman in the stomach that you know is pregnant, you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're going after that kid.
That's a vicious assault of a child. That's not even assaulting her, you cocksucker.
At that point, and then also like to fight and generally like to hear the sound of breaking glass. Which is like, what the... and he works at the carnival, and he's got a DUI and attacked a woman and just got out of a mental institution. Have we painted a fucking picture here? Clear enough picture?
And now back to the show.
So March 21st, 1994. This is, 6 weeks after this Sandra Phillips disappears. A shepherd out in a remote hilly area,
a sheep shepherd,
a guy with fucking sheep. That's how far in the middle of nowhere we are. Right. Just a dude walking with sheep. That still exists, apparently. There's, at least in 1994, there were still just people walking around America with sheep.
Fucking staff.
It happens. Yeah, just a staff sheep, I assume, is dick out. He's had sex with the sheep. Anyway, this particular day, this is about 3.5 miles north of Flora Vista. This shepherd finds Sandra's partially decomposed body next to a tree in a hilly remote area here. Investigators come here and they say that they found a denim coat draped over the lower part of the body when they arrived.
Heath Ledger.
It was like over there. It's Heath Ledger that did it. I knew it. I knew that bastard. So they see that. Now, the mother had told the police earlier that she had told her daughter to wear the denim coat on the day she disappeared because it was chilly out, and the coat belonged to the mother. And she said, "Take my coat and wear it when you're out there." So the coat had blood stains, and these blood stains were consistent with Sandra's blood. Also, so all this is not boding very well here. The investigators at this point, they lift up the coat and they find that Sandra's shirt was pulled up over her bra, and that one of her, she had like tie up, lace up boots. One of her boots had been removed, and her pants and underwear had been pulled off one of her legs. So the person pulled off her boot and then pulled her pants and underwear off just the one leg. Now, a medical examiner who examined everything, and a forensic pathologist who did the autopsy said that the condition of the clothing was consistent with a sexual assault, which it doesn't take a genius to figure that out. You don't really need a medical degree. And also, the forensic pathologist found evidence of bruising on her inner legs that indicate a struggle during a sexual assault that are very consistent with common injuries during a sexual assault. The forensic pathologist also testified that the decomposition of Sandra may have prevented the discovery of further evidence of a sexual assault, obviously, or a struggle with an assailant, because the decomposition kind of takes some of the trace evidence away sometimes, and especially with bruising and that sort of thing. If you're decomposed, your bruises
tissue's gone. Right.
Exactly. So both these people said that the cause of the forensic pathologist and the medical investigator both said that the cause of death was ligature strangulation. They said that a rope had been wrapped tightly around her neck about 4 times. They could tell by the marks. Yeah. They said the note contained two knots, one after the 3rd loop around the neck, and then another after the 4th loop. So it was like looped and knotted and looped and knotted. So it was really on there. Tight. It was on there really, really tight. Also, they found they thought from the way everything was, they thought that some of her hair may have been caught and tangled in the rope as well. They also said the rope probably cut off the circulation of blood obviously to the brain, and that's the medical way that this person
strangled. Right.
There you go. Probably took between 30 seconds and a minute to cause her to lose consciousness, and then they said it would take several minutes of strangulation to cause the death. So that's what I mean. This is not an easy to strangle someone. You got to really want it. Yeah. You got to want it, and you either have to be such a fucking cold-blooded just killer that you can just blast through that, or you have to have an engulfing rage that lasts for minutes at a time while you're extracting revenge, which would seem like it would wear itself out, I would think. But that's just me. I guess I'm not insane, so that's the problem. I guess I'm not a psychopath. Shit.
I mean, in a fight, like if you've never been in a fight, when you're throwing fists with somebody, you don't realize how fucking fast you get tired. And if you don't for sure hate that person, or you're in it for the money, you know what I mean? Even in boxing,
box for 3 minutes, which is a round. You want to die.
You will be winded. And to strangle somebody for that long,
someone who's fighting, too, someone who's and a 17-year-old girl, not someone who's this isn't like an 82-year-old woman who's in a wheelchair or anything like that. This is somebody
who's got the
stout. She can
willpower to live.
She can go walk a couple miles and be fine. You know, she's physically stout. You know, you could say
the energy this takes to do and complete is fucking just bananas.
Oh, absolutely. Now, based on the condition that she was in at the time she was discovered, the medical examiner investigator testified that she probably died the same day she disappeared, but they can't pinpoint an exact time of death. They just say that would be consistent with that. Also, they said the condition of the crime scene suggests that she had been killed somewhere else and then dumped there before when she was discovered. In that location. So I think it was not really staged, but he dumped her there and then placed the jacket over her, and that's all. Part of how you do your thing. Yeah, that's all. John Douglas, the profiler guy of the Mindhunter book, always says, if you want to know about the artist, look at the painting, and that's kind of what it is. It's like, don't worry about when the good profilers, they don't want to know anything about who you think did it. Right. They just want to know.
Show me strokes.
Show me crime scene photos. Yeah. Show me what he did. I don't want to know about your this or that or anybody else. Just show me that, and we'll work backwards from there. And that's kind of, you can see like that. So they think that she was dumped there. There was a boot print in the soil beneath her body. Now the state says that this evidence suggests that the killer left the boot print when he carried her to the location. Obviously. Now, March 1994, after Sandra was found, back to Allen here, back to our awful Tim Allen, the carnival worker with mental problems and a long criminal record of violence and everything else.
And a grunt of...
and he was grunting all over, annoying everybody in town, looking over his neighbor's fence, but doing it like while he's jerking off, not looking for advice. So after she's found, Tim Allen, has a conversation with his wife's stepfather, where he says that he saw her. Now he says he saw Sandra hitchhiking near a bar and restaurant in Flora Vista. So now she's hitchhiking all of a sudden, which doesn't make any sense. And he says that he stopped to pick her up, and he offered her a ride into Aztec, quote, to do some applications there or something. Yeah. Which they mean job applications, not to invent some apps for the younger people out there and actually fill out job applications.
But that's a dumb statement to make.
Yeah.
Because now
why are you putting her in your car?
Dummy.
That doesn't seem smart. He also then explained that she had become very, and I know he's telling like the story to him. Why bring it up? To
the stepfather.
To his wife's stepfather. He says that Sandra became very angry and insisted on being let out at the convenience store in Flora Vista, which he had brought up earlier. That's where he says he saw her from. He said that he bought her a soda and a candy bar to calm her down. What is she, 6? She's 17 years old. And the last time he saw her was at the convenience store. He just told her, look, here, take a Snickers and chill out, and let's part ways. And apparently he says that she was cool with that. And the last time he saw her was at that convenience store. He also told several other people, not just the wife's stepfather, that he either talked to her or gave her a ride on the day of her disappearance.
What is he doing?
So, anyone that will listen, he's like, I saw that girl.
Yeah.
They're like, which girl? The missing one. You know what I'm talking about. I saw her. She's the dead one. I saw her. Yeah, that's right. On the day, gave her a ride and everything.
Dead one?
Gave her a ride and everything.
Nobody knows she's dead yet, sir.
Oh, she's dead. Don't worry about it. I saw her.
I'm sure of it.
He told one of these people that he had talked about his marital problems with this 17-year-old girl, and that she gave him a sympathetic response, and that he may have asked her if she wanted to go have a beer. Mm-hmm. Okay, now 17-year-old girl that you picked up on the side of the road. Now, all of a sudden, he didn't tell his father-in-law that,
right.
But now he's saying that, yeah, she was open to talking to him. Now she's going to be a shoulder to fucking cry on for this dipshit.
Well, she is stuck in his car after hitchhiking.
Well, and most 17-year-old girls, what they really want to hear about is an adult carnival worker's marital problems. That's how you get their attention. Right. They're into that. They want to hear about a dirtbag's problems.
Ridiculous.
So, he said that he may have asked her if she wanted to go have a beer. Uh-huh. He never was, and this is this thing too. He tells different things to different people. Super weird. Also, he admits to somebody else that he said he wanted to give her a ride because she had red hair, and he liked red hair. Yeah. He said she had red hair, and she was young and good looking, and he dug that. Yeah. And he said that that nonverbal communications from her suggested that she liked him, and he said that he was just looking to kind of pick up a girl. So he's cruising around a town of 2,000 people looking to pick up a girl.
You're married,
good luck,
dude.
A married carnival worker with a criminal record and fresh paperwork from the mental institution is cruising around looking for chicks to pick up on the street in a small town.
She gave nonverbal clues. Like, who are you, Quentin Tarantino in Dusk Till Dawn? Like, do you see her just like making the blowjob motion in the passenger seat? What are you doing,
That's
man?
almost verbal, by the way. It might as well. It's more clear than that's any language that works in. It's really
tuck your tongue in your cheek.
Yeah, that'll
show everybody.
So he's looking for good-looking girls here. His mother-in-law also around this time says that she noticed a scratch on his face and a bruise on his lip right around the time of the girl's disappearance. Okay. Back about a month and a half ago, I remember he had a bruise and a scratch, and I was thinking, what the hell happened? It looked like he got in a fight before. Also, when they talk to him, the boots he's wearing, they see the boot print, and they just notice, just on the eyeball test, this isn't like in the melted snow Reebok thing like it was with the other case, but just on the eyeball test, it looked like pretty close to the same pattern of they're pretty, I think they're just work boots. That's a pretty close pattern with the squares.
Wolverine on the bottom.
Yeah, that's the one here. Now, he's starting to look a little shady for this. Now,
this isn't good.
No, it doesn't look good for him. Also, they link him to a rope that they believe was used to strangle her. Mm-hmm. Okay, now, several people said that the rope that they showed that strangled her had a distinct design and came from the back of a white pickup truck. This is amazing. This is This is why small town murder is different than big city murder. Because in big city murder, no one notices anything that's on anybody's car. No one notices anything. Several people in town recognized a rope as belonging to a certain truck that they've seen. That's how small of a town this is and how little there is to do there. Stare at a mesa or match ropes to vehicles. That's their things that's things to do. They said that it came from the back of a white pickup truck that belonged to Tim Allen's wife's grandfather. Okay. That's not too much too deep. Okay.
That's too close to Tim is what that is.
It's a little too close to Tim. Also, these people said that the rope was kept in the back of the pickup truck and was used to restrain a trash barrel when the pickup was hauling trash to the dump. Okay. That was the normal thing that the rope was in the back of the truck for forever, for years. It's always back there.
And that's what he...
problem is Tim Allen was seen driving this white pickup truck all in the week around the Sandra Phillips disappearance. And obviously, he's the grandson-in-law of the owner of the truck. So there's a lot of things that are looking awfully suspicious here. They also, oddly enough, a bunch of other witnesses also said that they observed Tim Allen extensively cleaning the cab of the pickup in the days after, several times in the days after Sandra Phillips disappeared.
This is a truck with a rope in the back
that hauls trash.
Right.
So it's not a truck that you
Why
clean.
you detailing that?
It's not, doesn't get detailed very often, I'm going to go ahead and say here. So now if that's not enough, now he's still on the street. They don't have enough to pick him up. They just have all of these very circumstantial, very coincidental things.
But very well line up.
That line up pretty goddamn well. Now
and a man probably full of rage that the Tim Allen is on TV at this date.
Oh, yeah, killing it.
Just crushing.
And he's like, whenever he gives his name, we're like, Tim Allen. He's like, no, I work in a carnival, actually. I make
see that truck? That's not even mine.
I made $6,000 last year, and that was a good year. Like it was a banner one for me.
I don't even run the tilt-a-whirl yet.
I'm working my way up. I know how to do the assisting on it, but I can't actually. I'm not actually the one that makes sure everyone's secure.
What do? Right now, I hand out potato sacks for the kids going down the big slide.
Either that, or I'm the one that rigs those little frog lily pads when you throw the ball on them so they don't stay. I'm the guy who does that.
I'm the one that robs people of money. That's what I do.
That's the other thing about carnival workers is they are the most dishonest people in the world, and they're known from it. It's so funny. Like everything, like in all the terminology in like wrestling is from the carnival. All like they call the fans marks because the fucking marks of the carnival.
That's who we're stealing from.
We're faking them out. That's the whole point. These people are just
swindling fucks.
Swindling fucks. Oh, and they also get teenagers to rob concession stands. So things happen like that. So one night,
and they all fuck each other.
Oh, they all fuck each other.
The
silly.
Worst part.
It's like
they're making more.
Yeah. Oh God, it's like a low IQ Olympic village. It's like a shit genetics Olympic village because they're all in there together. They're all doing like this little road show, but the genetics in there are awful.
The day after, they all ran out of condoms.
It turns into that. So during the summer of 1994, so this is, a few months later, 5-6 months later, he's still out there. He is with his wife, and they're working at a carnival in another state, of course, because that's what they do. So he says to his wife, now keep in mind, he doesn't have to say anything more to anybody about anything. He said enough.
Yeah, why are you still talking?
He says now to his wife, unprompted, by the way. This is months later. She's not like she's grilling him about this shit.
As they're unbuckling kids off the big swings.
He's like, let me tell you something. Here's your teddy bear, sweetheart. Here's your pink bunny, darling. There you are. He says, quote, that he was with this girl and he had sex with her, and that after they had sex, that she said she was going to the cops, and so that he had to kill her. Then he said, so he told his wife that he had sex with a young girl, and then said she was going to go to the cops, and so he had to kill her.
Right.
That's what he said. Now, his wife tells. Why would you tell your wife that?
3 more and you get the big giraffe.
Yeah, she was dead. I strangled her good. You know that rope your dad got in her truck? You know that right there? That's 3 for $1. There you go. Step on up, step right up. What are you about? I'd say 155. Okay, so he's a weight guesser, in case you didn't get that. So let me tell you about the eyes popping out of the head while I was strangling. Okay,
it took me about 7 minutes to strangle her, and the horse number 7's the winner.
Oh, yay, wee-hee. Just hold the trigger down till the clown's head fills up. Whichever pops first gets this, whatever the fuck piece of shit animal thing is. There you go. Stuff. It's got lice on it, so it don't even matter.
Hey, whoever wins gets this vehicle to get bed bugs into your house.
Right. I rubbed it on my ass like 3 times already today. Poop and lice and crabs all over.
Sweet fuck.
So he tells her that. So she goes and tells her mother about that. Which I don't know, who else would you tell at that point? My husband said he had sex with a teenage girl and then killed her.
Right.
That's something you'd want to tell your mom.
You'd
probably
love to tell the police, but what
eventually
what city?
The mother did tell the police.
Okay,
because this was a big deal that this 17-year-old girl is missing in a town of 2,000 people that just went to the middle of town and disappeared. Like that was
applications
to fill out applications, and there's posters everywhere. This was a big fucking deal. So now police investigators asked him about this statement. They asked They talk to him. This is how much time goes by. February, she disappears. Summer, he talks to his wife and tells her that he killed her. December 27th, they talk to him again.
Wow.
So this is almost a year that's gone by now. They ask him about the statement again, and he said that he lied to his wife. Because we all lie to our wife by telling them that we cheated on them. Right. That's the lie you want to tell. Right. I've cheated on you and killed a girl. Right. That's a good lie. That's going to get me some points. What's the strategy there to that lie?
I was just trying to turn her on because we're so close to the Four Corners. I wanted to munch her box up there.
You know how them Four Corners excite me. You know I hate them Mormons, and I'm like, I'm going to munch that box all up in your state.
I thought she would be turned on by it. That seems to get her real wet.
Jesus Christ. With the H, exactly. Wet. Terrible. Fucking terrible. So this happened then. He tells them, look, I was lying to my wife. Now he also tells another person around this time that he was just kidding when he made that statement.
For sure.
That's how we all kid.
Yeah.
You know that teenage girl that was missing? I raped and killed her. That's a funny joke that we all tell our spouses. Hysterical. That gets you, it gets you something. Yeah. Some kind of points. I don't know what it is, but something. So they arrest him on December 29th. I don't know why it took them 2 days after that to arrest him, but it did. They did. And now he's detained in the San Juan County Detention Center. This is what I mean. This fucking guy, I don't understand this guy. He just can't stop telling people things that he shouldn't fucking tell people.
Who is he telling now?
Well, he gets into jail and immediately, like in the second he comes in contact with other inmates, he just begins telling them shit. He's like, I killed that girl immediately. Just that's it. On 2 separate occasions, he told that one inmate, I killed that girl. Oh, quote, I killed that girl.
Wow.
And so many people he told, he forgot he told that guy. The guy was like, you already told me. Like, that's what it literally was. He's like, you know that girl? I killed her. He's like, yeah, I know. You fucking said that already.
What do you
Quit bragging.
I killed that girl.
Yeah.
I know.
I know, asshole.
I didn't ask you. You asked me what I'm in for. Why are you answering your own question?
Fucking dummy. So now, on another occasion, while he's in jail, he tells another inmate that he had confessed to his lawyer and said that, quote, I wish I wouldn't have taken that damn rope with me. Later, he told another inmate, quote, I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to tell you what happened to the Sandra Phillips girl. And he says that he described her. This is what he described to this inmate. So we can kind of figure it out. This is according to him. Yeah. Now, he said that he picked her up outside a bar in Flora Vista and took her up in the hills. Okay. Which makes sense to where this was. Now took her up in the hills. Now he says that she was making moves on him.
Yeah.
Because that's probably likely.
Yeah.
That's what happens. When you pick when a carnival worker with mental problems picks a teenage girl up in a garbage hauling truck, right, they usually can't stop grabbing your cock. That's what happens. That's why I will never pick up a teenage girl, not because it's untoward, because I know they'll try to fuck me because they all attack carnival workers with mental problems.
This dick.
That's what they're doing. It's so difficult. They're everywhere.
Unbelievable.
So he says that she was, quote, making moves on him, and that so in response he was, quote, making moves on her, and then after that, quote, some stuff happened.
Yeah.
I assume that's sexual stuff. Some stuff happened. He said that he tied a rope around her neck.
Because she likes it.
He said that he tied her up because she was, quote, cute, and he wanted to make love to her.
Oh, boy.
So he tied a rope around her neck.
That's a good way to do it.
Unless someone is begging you to do that, I implore you, do not do that.
No ropes.
No
ropes.
No, just please
use a little hand. Put a
I don't know.
handle.
I don't know. I don't want to tell people to do what turns them on. People that are weird, but be fucking careful out there if that's in reality. But this is not a consensual. There's nothing about this is okay.
No.
This is a horrible person assaulting a teenager at this point.
Keep the ropes away from the neck.
Wow. So he wanted to, quote, make love to her, which is fucking disgusting. And also he said he liked to have control over people, which is okay. And at that same point, he's like, look, she's cute, A. I wanted to make love to her, B. I like to have control over people, and D, my girlfriend and I, we had a fight. So I'm going to get back at her by having sex with this 17-year-old against her will with a rope around her fucking neck. Wow.
Oh, boy.
He said that while she was tied up in the pickup truck and he was starting to, quote, make love to her, which no, she, quote, just fell down or limped out, he said. And he said after she limped down, I guess out of the truck, I guess is what he's trying to say, he said he got scared and tied the rope again. So
he had it 3 times with a knot, and then threw it around it again
to do it again, just because he got scared because I don't know, she was trying to get away because she's losing consciousness. And
limped out to me sounds like he was inside her and she just fucking lost consciousness in the back of the truck.
Probably from lack of oxygen or
so
blood.
So he roped it again and kept going?
So he roped it again and kept going.
Oh my God!
He took that as everything was going great, and then she's just something weird. He was strangling a girl against her will while he raped her. He didn't say that part. That's what I mean. He doesn't seem to understand that that's what was going on. Or maybe he does and he's not saying it, but whatever the fucking case is, he's not a good guy here. No. He says so. She just limped down. He says he got scared, tied the rope again, and then at that point he noticed that she was dead. So he's like, oh, shit, killed her. He pulled mice and men here. So he squeezed a little too hard.
Started getting cold. It was weird.
And he said he was going to take her somewhere else to get rid of her, but the road was too muddy. So he picked her up and just carried her off to the side of the road and threw her in a ditch.
Wow.
That's what he did. And he said he threw the jacket on top and just fucking took off.
And a parent has to fucking hear that story.
A parent has to hear that story from an inmate that this guy was telling all about this shit, which is absolutely fucking nuts, man.
Oh, Jesus.
So they need proof here. Several months after this whole thing, the pickup truck that in question was sold to somebody else. It was sold. And this person said that he found strands of red hair under a seatbelt strap on the day he purchased it, which is crazy because they had searched the truck and didn't find them. The crime scene people searched. This is what I mean. This is inept as shit.
Right.
So he threw the hairs away after looking at them because he didn't know what they were. He didn't know they were evidence of a crime. He bought a fucking pickup truck and there's some hair down there. So he took it off and threw it out. That's
gross.
Like anybody. You're like, ew, gross hair.
Yeah.
And you throw it out. Somebody's hair. You don't know that it was... which makes it even grosser.
Yeah.
So he didn't know there were any evidence. So, and also, they went back again in January 95. Investigators went back and looked at the truck again. And that's when he said, actually, when I bought the truck, I found a bunch of red hairs wrapped around the seatbelt thing, but I just threw them out because what the fuck do I know?
Right.
Nobody told me anything about that. So they said, okay, they searched it again. They didn't find anything. They returned the pickup truck to him. And then after they do that, the owner finds more strands of red hair. They missed it twice. Two different parts. This whole fucking team, the only thing they're looking for is fucking red hairs.
And they couldn't find it.
And they couldn't find twice. And this other guy is like, I found red hairs again. Whole team. One guy. Okay.
Wow.
So he said he found more strands of red hair when he removed a broken handle that was like a window roller there. There was red hair or in the rolling part, like where the window back in the day used to manually roll up a window, and it was like a crank thing. In case you didn't know. So
he found him in that.
He found him in the crank of that.
Jesus.
They didn't search there when he took it off to fix it because it had been broken. Apparently, at that point, it had been broken
because it was wrapped up with too much fucking hair.
It was wrapped. Well, the funny thing is, too, not funny, but people said that the window handle was not broken when Tim first borrowed the truck back in January of 94. The window rolled up just fine. Then after that, the window roller was broken.
Got it.
And he was just like, yeah, it broke. And it's like, it's an old truck, it broke, whatever. But it would really break if you were, struggling and trying to overcome a 17-year-old girl.
Kicking and screaming.
Against her will, this shit happens. So the trial of this starts, obviously. He is charged with first-degree murder, first-degree kidnapping, and attempted criminal sexual penetration.
Okay.
All of those terrible charges.
Not good ones.
None of those are good charges whatsoever.
Attempted is a bit loose, but they just don't have proof.
They don't have exactly. They don't have proof, but they knew that he tried.
Yeah.
So this is a capital case. They're going for the death penalty, which in New Mexico is not very common. They're not a real big executing state in New Mexico. They choose, juries opt for life in prison a lot there.
Okay.
Under hard circumstances and everything else. It's just not what they're about. So his lawyer Tim's lawyer that he gets has never tried a capital case before.
Perfect.
Which that's just what you want when you're dealing with that.
Yeah.
And he conducts no mental health investigation whatsoever of this man.
I mean, on the positive side, he's never lost one either.
That's true. He is fucking batting 1,000, or at least zero.
At least zero.
He's at least even. He's at least 0 for 0.
Right.
So he had no mental. I would think in a case like this, right away, first thing you would do if you're a defense lawyer is see if he's fucking crazy,
right.
because that would be your easiest out.
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna be hard to deny it.
You ever
Like,
seen a psychiatrist?
you crazy? You fucking hear things or anything like that? You hear voices?
Right.
Now, the prosecutor gets testimony from inmates left and right, saying that he killed her, saying all this shit. Another one of the people that testifies here, an inmate, said that Tim told him
that he broke into a house, set it to 74,
and shit all over the place, and then fucking left. Son of a bitch. And the guy laughed and laughed. He couldn't even get it out in court. The judge was laughing. It was a disaster. The jury was laughing. They had to take a 5-minute recess.
He told me about this enema caper. Let me tell you this story.
Let me tell you, he's a 74. No shit. Can you believe it? Amazing, isn't it? Yeah, you got to be cold to stick it in there. I don't know what it is. He tells, this inmate testifies that Tim had told this inmate that he was going to, quote, beat this case, which that's not that bad. He also gets testimony, the prosecutor gets testimony from another inmate who said that Tim said that he confessed to his lawyer, and from the first time, from the first time he talked to his lawyer, that he'd killed the girl, but that his lawyer had told him that all they had was circumstantial evidence, and that if he just keeps his mouth shut, that the guy would get him off.
What are you doing?
So he's telling me that. Well, I told him I killed him, but he just said, keep your mouth shut. They don't have shit on you, so you're going to be good. Like, why are you talking? Stop talking.
What are you doing?
To just inmates in the county jail who...
That's like OJ sitting in there saying, I was told that if you pay a dream team, you get off.
You get off. They told me that. Oh, okay. Yeah, they said it's not. They ain't got nothing. There's a racist cop. We got tapes of him saying the N-word. Don't even worry about it. So this line of questioning, apparently the defendant did not, Tim's team didn't object in a soon enough time to this questioning, so they let it go on, because I guess technically he could have got this part thrown out. This part never introduced in the first place.
Got it.
Later on, he'll say that was a problem too. Another thing that he's going to say that the trial court messed up on here is by allowing testimony about the quote inmate code, which they talk about how inmates, if they testify against other people, obviously that's putting themselves in their safety in jeopardy. Right. Clearly. Mm-hmm. And the prosecutor says that the prosecutor told them that these inmate witnesses that were testifying were being very brave because they could, quote, get a shank in them. Okay. So, which is, I think, fair to say. Probably that's not going over the top, but that's a big deal later on where he's going to say the prosecutor went outside the scope of what they are allowed to. But the prosecutor's line of questioning was only happened because the defense counsel repeatedly attacked the credibility of the inmate witnesses. So they had to come back and say, well, actually, they are getting, whatever consideration, but they're also risking their safety, blah, 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 blah. So that was the way they were trying to go about that. Yeah. During the opening statement, the defense counsel said, quote, the only people who are going to be pointing to Timothy and saying that he did it are jailhouse snitches. So defense counsel also raised the issue of their credibility during cross-examination. He questioned each of the witnesses about possible incentives that they have. So that would mean the prosecutor would have to say the other incentives that they have that aren't about time and getting off of trouble that they're in. Sure. During the closing argument, the defense counsel urged the jury not to base its verdict, quote, on the word of child rapers, liars, thieves, and people hoping to get lesser sentences when they face judgment themselves. He led with child rapers.
Yeah, he did.
That was first.
Yeah.
I would have closed with child rapers.
I would have, for sure.
I would have said
liars and thieves.
Liars, thieves, people hoping to get lesser sentences. These people are child rapists. That's how I would. Now, I think that's the most weight. That's how a comedian would put it right there.
That's damning.
Boom. That's you want the punchline at the end to go, oh, man, you sink it home there. Leave them fucking wondering. That's how you roll.
Child rapists. By the time you get to thieves and people getting time off their sentence, you forget that they were child rapists.
Yeah. And he said child rapers.
Right.
He didn't say child rapists. Rapist almost like sounds like you're saying he's got some sort of fucked up art to it or some weird shit, but just child raper just sounds like he goes from house to house raping everybody he can find.
Just really forcing it.
It's awful.
And now back to the show.
The evidence here, they said that he's upset. The defense is upset because the prosecution, they just bring up tons of people saying he's a shithead.
Yeah.
They bring up, this is great, somebody's grandfather, a friend of his grandfather that he'd been arrested for that he'd stolen money from. Mm-hmm. They basically said, did he steal money from your grandfather? Yes, he did.
Sure
okay,
did.
He's a scumbag, stole money from my grandpa. Also that he'd been arrested for DUI and all that kind of shit. They talked about how he was a carny, and they also talked about how carnies are liars.
Typically fucking swindlers.
Yeah. They also said that he had told people prior to his arrest and then after his arrest that he had been prepared to, quote, shoot it out with the police.
Wow.
So they put that on the stand, too.
You know, that's another point that I just thought of. There's never a manager of a carnival.
No, never. No one wants to take responsibility for that. When the tilt-a-whirl goes fucking rolling down Main Street and they go, who's in charge here? You think anyone wants to raise their fucking hand? Hell no.
There's no manager on shift.
No manager. Nah, he took off. I don't know. He's in Albuquerque. Right. So he said also his wife testified that his carnival work, that Tim's carnival work involved talking to customers and, quote, tricking their minds.
Oh, boy.
So lying to people and bullshitting people. Which
tricking
their minds.
His phrasing is such shit.
That's her phrasing.
Oh, hers.
That's her phrase. It runs in the family. Yeah. It's his wife. That's why they're together.
Sexually transmitted.
Yeah, sexually transmitted stupidity. So, an STS. So, watch out for that, everybody out there. They're everywhere, STSs.
Jesus
oh, man.
Christ.
So, he said that he told police that he said that the carnival work was at issue. This is funny because he's saying that they shouldn't have brought that up, but then he was the one who brought up that the carnival work was an issue because he told police that he avoided Sandra, the victim, when he saw her on the day of her disappearance because she looked him directly in the eye. Mm-hmm. He said that he explained he would always avoid people who looked him directly in the eye based on his carnival experience because everyone knows you never look a carny in the eye. I don't know what the fuck that means. No one knows shit. What is that?
If they look me in the eye, I'm forced to tell the truth. So please don't play this game. I just sprayed Pam all over it.
But that's what he said, though. Yeah. He said that's what it was. It was people. You know, he knew not to. I don't know what the fuck he's doing.
Ridiculous.
So then they get a doctor. A Dr. Matthews is called to testify. It's a statement attributed to Timothy by one of the inmate witnesses. Now he testified. This inmate witness that he asked Tim why he killed the girl and that he replied, quote, I don't know. It was like I was standing outside of my body watching myself do this. Okay. Which sounds like a really typical, that's pretty much what everybody says. Right. Like, I don't know. It was just the weirdest thing.
I don't remember those 10 minutes of my life.
It was like slow motion. I wasn't even in control of my body. It was like I was standing outside. I've heard every killer, so literally every murderer says that. Okay, so this Dr. Matthews guy reviews this testimony, and his conclusion is that Timothy, he was describing a dissociative experience, and he didn't know what it was, and dissociative experiences are a common way of dealing with situations that are stressful and that sort of thing. He also says that a dissociative experience doesn't necessarily indicate a medical condition that would negate his capacity to deliberate, intent to kill or anything like that. So he's still, even if he had that experience, you're saying he's still responsible. The doctor said it doesn't mean he's not responsible.
The thing is that at minimum, it incriminates further because it proves that you know the difference between right and wrong.
That's the thing.
It's so wrong, in fact, that you're removing yourself from it, saying, I just watched myself do it. I just watched myself. I couldn't.
It was weird.
I'm not a bad person.
No, it's like that time the Ferris wheel broke and all them kids was just diving off the top and falling, and necks were breaking.
I saw that one get smushed.
It was like I was jerking it, because it was what I'm into, but it was like I wasn't jerking myself. It was like someone else was jerking me from the outside.
Like one of them toddlers' heads was tugging at it.
Yeah. So there's some testimony that he is going to make a big deal out of on appeal later on. Now, it's very, very, very detailed of Sandra Phillips' mother's reaction to the news of her daughter's death, and all that sort of thing. Here, they talk to Lacey, the friend, Lacey Minor, and she describes this. She describes walking to the house. She says she got about halfway there and she stopped and said she can't because the cops were having her tell her.
Wow.
The cops were like, look, you should tell her.
Yeah. Listen, she is going to be pissed when we tell her that
I know
we missed
this is my job,
hair twice.
But you should tell her. No, this is after they found the body.
Oh, okay.
You have to tell her she's dead. And they were like, well, first of all, that's not your job as the friend. No. But I guess she said she wanted to, and then said that
what I would say if I'm Lacey is, motherfucker, I didn't find the body.
Well, they called her.
Go tell her.
They called her at work. The cops called her at work and said, can you meet us at the Phillips house in 15 minutes?
Get out of here.
And she said when they got there, the deputy Chevery told her, quote, now you have to go in and tell Darlene. Pardon? Excuse me? No thanks. She said that, quote, I cannot go in and tell her daughter is dead. I cannot do that. So he said he would do it. We went into the house. She said Darlene had an appointment with the sheriff's deputy, so she didn't think it was strange that he was there, and she thought that Lacey was there for support because she was going to talk to him and she could have her input, blah, blah, blah. So she said they walked in and greeted her, and she said the mother could tell that there was something wrong right away, and so they had to tell her that they found Sandra's body. And in court, they said, how did Darlene react?
No.
And she said her answer was a great answer. Quote, probably like any mother would react whenever somebody tells them that their daughter's body had been found. Yeah. She was a little upset, I would say. She said, then the cop said, what did she do to detective or deputy Chevery? The answer is that she started hitting him in the chest, and she started asking him why and who, and then went outside. I guess she ran away. Darlene ran. She's freaking out.
That's exactly what you do.
Fucking blame her. She didn't know what to do.
Right.
So the friend said she followed her. Lacey and her sister stayed in the house while Lacey's sister stayed in the house while she went outside and found Darlene. She said she was running around the driveway crying, kind of doing like a frantic, whatever.
Losing her shit.
Yeah, she said she wouldn't let her hug her or do anything like that. She was yelling and screaming, and neighbors were coming out of the house. And I mean, she was making a fucking scene, which you can only imagine that she would. She just describes this horrible, horrible scene. She said that they had to start calling relatives in Phoenix and started making travel arrangements so everybody could get here so they could have some kind of service. And they went to her sisters and they got beds and pillows and blankets because all these people are going to come into town now for this. And they said they went to Sam's Club and bought food. So they also have to deal with logistics of there's people coming over and we don't have any chicken wings on top of the fact that the kid's fucking dead. When you have to deal with all that shit, is there enough toilet paper? Oh, and Darlene's dead or Sandra's dead. Right. It's a fucking lot. It's been crazy. So they said the father has had a lot of problems also. He says he feels extremely guilty. Just the whole thing is everyone feels horrible about this. They said that Darlene has been just a mess since the daughter is dead. She said she kept her room the same for 8 months afterwards, which is I don't know how. That's got to be heartbreaking.
What do you do in that situation, though, anyway?
That's what I mean.
I'm not going in there.
It's so
not
heartbreaking.
Keeping it the same. It's just, fuck, I'm not going to go. No, I don't want in there.
Do you want, you're going to go take stuff down and
pull down a Debbie Gibson poster?
Yeah.
No, thanks.
No, thanks. That's what I mean. I don't know. What's 94? We'll give her more credit than that. But still, it's Flora Vista, actually, so she probably just came out.
A few years behind.
Yeah, Debbie Gibson just came out there. They're like, wow, she's hot. She's a hot new young artist, isn't she? So, yeah, until...
She's 3 years away from being in Playboy.
Yeah. So, she's late. She kept it that way till like September of that year, which is very, very sad. So they talked to her. I only gave you the broad brush strokes here. She went into just everything, a detail after detail of everything the mother did, every emotion of every family member, her emotions. I mean, it was like a victim impact statement.
Wow.
During
as her testimony,
Jeez. Which is, it's not, that's a problem sometimes. Yeah. So that's going to be later on a problem.
But for one side.
Yeah, that's an issue. So, in the closing arguments, the defense contends that it was misconduct for the prosecutor to argue that the jury should return its verdict based on improper considerations such as community outrage, because they say that this is outrageous and your kids aren't safe, and they really gas the jury up when they go in there. They said that, quote, this is the stuff that we as parents fear for our children, and a need for a stern message from you that this conduct won't be tolerated. Whoa. It's the typical prosecutor thing of send a message.
Is that what they do?
Oh, fuck yeah. They tell you send a
shit.
message to that guy. He represents the evils of society, and if you bury his dick in the dirt, it's a message to all of the people out there. That's what they tell him.
Wow.
So the verdict comes back guilty. Not shocking here that it's guilty. He's told everyone on earth that he killed this girl. Fucking physical evidence and hairs and ropes and things and his enemas fucking out the yin yang. So he is guilty. Now, sentencing, the only evidence of mitigating circumstances, because now this is when the defense has to present, don't kill me because A, B, and C. The only defense they present during this, they call no witnesses. They don't do anything. It consists of a brief allocution and a stipulation regarding his age. He was 34 years old. So like, he's only 34. Don't kill him. That was the only thing they had, which is not like, that's a better argument if he's like 18. Right. He's only 18. He's only 34. They're like, whatever, that's fine. 34 is fine to kill. Like, who cares?
Wasn't Ted Bundy like 36?
That's what I mean. Who gives a shit? Dahmer was, who cares? Right. We don't care. So, not the death penalty. Dahmer didn't get the death penalty, but still. So anyway, he's 34 years old. They present basically no...
Kind of did.
Sort of, yeah. Basically. So they present basically no defense of in the penalty phase here of the death penalty. The mother, though, his mother testifies for the prosecution. His own mother, Wanda Lindbergh, who's his mother, the same one that said that he punched his pregnant sister and all that shit. That's where she says this in court. He punched his pregnant sister, pushed her down the stairs, all of that shit.
On the mitigating evidence side?
This is for the prosecution.
Oh, yeah.
She's doing. Yeah, this is his mitigating evidence. Thanks, Mom. He said that she testifies that Alan or Tim told her that he had seen Sandra and gave her a ride the day she died. Mm-hmm. So she says that. Also, she said that he is incorrigible and, quote, that the death penalty would keep him from hurting anyone else.
Wow.
His own fucking mother said that. How shitty of a person do you have to be for your mother to just be like, I just kill him. I don't even know.
He's going to kill others.
He's going to kill again.
We got to happen.
Give up on him.
Right.
Give up on kill my son. Kill the boy. Kill my boy. Like, come on, kill my boy. String him up. Come on, everybody. Get behind this. It's fucking nuts. Crazy. So, and the one of the prosecutor closings, because there's a couple rebuttals and all that, he says, quote, the prosecutor says, quote, don't take rides from strangers. Don't accept candy from strangers. The story of Sandra Phillips is the stuff we can tell our children or our grandchildren because it's the agony and the horror of every parent. Mm-hmm. Then he goes on to talk about, in his closing, just about the anguish of the mother. They played a video in court of just a video of her hanging out with her friends, and I think they were on an elk hunting trip or some shit and all this, and she's a happy teenage kid, and so they're like, this is the life that he snuffed out, the joyous life of this. So it's that's some damning shit right there. So they talked all about this shit. They talked in detail, basically everything that Lacey Minor said that Darlene went through, all the anguish, that whole thing. He just reiterated all of it in the closing again. Fucking jurors are crying and shit because it's make it sting. And then said, you can stop it by putting people like him. And, all of this can be solved by just crushing him. So, he makes all these remarks. He says nothing will bring Sandra back, but there is still justice. A verdict of guilty and a death penalty is what he wants. Now, the defense closing arguments here, they said theirs had a religious theme. They talked about remarks about leaving the defendant's life, quote, in God's hands.
Oh, boy.
Because, quote, a long time ago, a man died on a cross, and his final words about his killers were words of forgiveness. Mm-hmm. That is not a good closing argument of defense. But I guess that's not guilty or innocent. He's saying, don't kill my client. Right. Don't give. So that's actually you might want to go with the Jesus forgiveness shit here at that point.
I'd really like to
not
hear
a bad angle.
Some words of forgiveness from this guy. You know,
yeah.
He's giving nothing.
No, he's giving nothing.
Jack shit.
He's denying, but he's a fucking idiot. So he says this, and after he says this, there's a bench conference and everything, and they give the jurors this instruction, quote, any suggestion that you as a jury have some obligation to express a particular opinion on a case through your verdict or to carry any kind of message through your verdict is totally inappropriate, which is good. This case may be decided upon the facts that you have before you in this court and not any play upon your desire to please a public or to carry out a particular aim of society. Deal with this case on its facts in the manner of which I've instructed you, putting aside your bias and prejudices and deciding the case solely upon what you've heard. And they went to deliberate. Mm-hmm. Didn't take long before they came back with a verdict on life without parole or the death penalty, and they said, you, sir, may fuck off, and they sentenced him to death by lethal injection.
Holy shit.
Now, this is weird. New Mexico, not a big death penalty state. Since 1979, juries have only returned 12 death sentences in the
79?
This was from 79 to 98. Okay. They had only brought down 12 death sentences, and only two of them were still on death row. 5 of them were commuted by a governor in the 80s, and then 3 were overturned by the state Supreme Court, which is that's an issue. So that's why the death penalty is kind of shitty. Yeah, only 2 stuck, but 3 were overturned for reasons that's not a good ratio. No. Not good enough to do that.
3 out of 12. That's a third or fourth.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
That's fucking
25%
crazy.
25% of your shit's getting overturned.
That's not good. That means you might have fucked up. Right. And out of the ones that got overturned, maybe one of them didn't actually do it, which is still enough. That's too many. 1 out of 12 is too many.
Way too many.
If you're killing every 12 people, one of them that didn't do it, not a good enough ratio. You didn't do well enough. So,
it's not good police work at all.
No, or good prosecution, we should say. That's why we are real sketchy on the death penalty. Because as much as we like to see assholes get killed, who know, like last week, everybody watched this guy torture a person. He was on the phone going, hey, I'm torturing this dude now. Then literally would hold the phone out and go, tell them I'm torturing you. He's torturing me. See, I'm torturing him. And then he killed him, and he's like, yeah, I just killed that dude. Yeah, the dude I was torturing forever.
He can't
I killed
tell you killed him.
No question. There's no questions about that one. That's fine. But like this is weird, and we'll talk about why in a second briefly, that I'm also a little sketchy on this particular case. Darlene Phillips, the mother of Sandra's mother, said that the death penalty is, quote, too good for him. She said, it's not over yet, but at least we know he can't hurt anyone else. That was the most important thing. No family should have to go through this, which fuck yeah, obviously. Now, on appeal, obviously he's going to appeal death sentences here. He challenges all sorts of shit. 10 grounds here: prosecutorial misconduct, insufficient evidence of aggravating circumstances, jury selection errors, refusing to submit lesser included offenses, all of this shit, insufficient evidence to support kidnapping, a bunch of bullshit, basically. Cumulative error, they just fucked everything up, is what he said. He said that mainly it's the inmates' testimony saying that he said he would beat the case because he talked to his lawyer and admitted it, and his lawyer told him this. Right. His assertion here is that, well, if I'm talking about a conversation I had with my lawyer, then that's confidential, and you can't elicit that through somebody else. No, is what they're trying to get.
But you get client confidentiality agreements, but
when a third party's involved, then you've waived it at that point. That's what they say. Once you've told someone else, then you've waived your privilege at that point. Now he knows as much as someone else.
It's telling your buddy you got ball cancer, and your buddy goes and tells your boss you got ball cancer. Your doctor didn't disclose the information.
That's what I mean. You told him, and it's not the problem. So that's what they did there. Also, the defendant's prior bad acts. He said that shouldn't have been introduced into it, but the way they did it was the crime he did in 1982. They tried to say the state introduced evidence on him by calling the victim of that crime to talk about him in the penalty phase, because you can bring that up in the penalty phase. He says that should have weighed in his favor because he didn't kill her. That's what he said. He's like, so that should have been a pro.
Should have been positive
for me. Like, if I rape a chick, I don't kill her. That's my policy. Live rape victims only. Fucking insane.
Listen, not killing and raping is very similar as the Kohl's "we don't need your receipt" policy. It's just policy. It's just store policy. That's how we run things around.
That's how it works. I don't know. Also, he's upset at the background evidence given by his wife about working in a carnival and his general tricking people's minds. That's bullshit. And also the statement that he made to his wife that he'd raped and killed a girl because he was only kidding that day. Duh, Jesus Christ. Also, the defendant's, the friend's grandfather he stole money from and all that. He talked about the DWI arrest. And the court says they were brief, inadvertent statements, and they weren't responsive to a prosecutor's question. So it wasn't like the prosecutor was eliciting this on purpose. Somebody just came out and said it. So there's that. He also asserts that medical records were not it's weird. The way that he's saying that the way the prosecutors got his medical records was not on the up and up, which is very, very strange. The court actually agrees on that the confidential medical records in the issue were not a proper subject of discovery. It's a very legal mess, but it's actually one that he's actually kind of right on here, but they just don't know if we'll find out if it's enough to overturn a death sentence. Also the kidnapping thing. He says, listen, kidnapping as an aggravator to the murder, that's bullshit. I kidnapped her to fucking rape her. I didn't kidnap her to kill her. So it's not the same thing. It's not a continuous thing.
So she was hitchhiking, so she got in on her own volition.
So she kind of got in on her own. So I didn't kidnap. I mean, I held her while I raped her, and then I killed her. But those are separate. I didn't kidnap her to kill her. That's fucking nuts. What am I, crazy person?
Working a carnival?
Yeah, am I a carny worker? So he also says that there's not sufficient evidence of murder in the commission of kidnapping. It's just fucking ridiculous. Anyway, it's affirmed, the sentence. They tell him, fuck you again. You fuck off again. But with dissent. There is one justice in the state Supreme Court who has a blistering dissent of this, basically saying, how the fuck, he says, this is the beginning of it, quote, in my view, and contrary to the majority opinion, which I love when they start like that.
I was really hoping that he was going to say, how the fuck?
Yeah, how the fuck? He says, quote, the victim impact evidence in this case was excessive and warrants a new sentencing hearing even under the Payne standard. Portions of the victim impact testimony, which in my opinion far exceeded the limited testimony tolerable under the law of Payne. So he's saying that whole thing was way too much to allow. He deserves a new sentencing hearing because that jury was tainted by that shit. 2000, so they say that's only a majority opinion or a minority opinion. So that doesn't matter. That sentence affirmed. He's on the hook now. By the way, there are three. There was him, and there's a guy named Robert Fry that we'll talk about who's on death row. And then they executed a guy named Terry Clark, I believe, who was a child murderer. This guy here, so there's two people waiting for death. In 2009, they abolished the death penalty in New Mexico.
All gone.
They abolish it, no more. But they don't resentence the two guys sentenced to death. So they're in this fucking quandary now.
What is that?
They have two people sentenced to death in a state where the death penalty is abolished. So it's a big legal shoulder shrug. Everyone went, oh, probably should have put that in the law, huh? I mean, it's only 2 guys, so they didn't even think of it. But
hang on to them.
What the fuck do we do now?
You can't kill him.
No,
just hang on
but
to
the
him.
prosecutors want to kill him still,
Right.
and they're keeps bouncing around. The legal question's been going on for 5. This was 2009. We'll tell you about this. September 2014. New Mexico's remaining death row inmates asked the state's highest court to spare them for potential execution because of the repeal of capital punishment. It's just Timothy Allen here and Robert Fry who contend their death sentences violate state and federal constitutional protections because New Mexico abolished capital punishment in 2009. The state Supreme Court are supposed to hear arguments, but a decision may be months away. This is in 2004, mind you. Neither of them have a scheduled execution also, so that makes it even harder because then they'd have to have the whole workings of scheduling one. They've dismantled their death rows and all that kind of thing. So what the fuck do you do with these 2 people?
So what are they in like Gen Pop, or are they on death row still?
It's crazy. The Attorney General, Gary King, who represented the state, says the death sentences are constitutional and should remain in place. The legislature's decision to apply the repeal to future murders, quote, furthers the longstanding policy of ensuring that criminals are punished according to the laws that existed at the times of their crime, is what the Attorney General is saying. So they're like, listen, these are the laws at that time, so we need to do that. So we should do it based on those rather than the laws that are currently in place.
I agree.
Because that's how we all do things. Yeah. We all do things based on whatever was going on 25 years ago. That's
whatever
how
the rules was then. Though.
That's how you bet. No, I believe it's current laws how we work things, but still, Jesus Christ, a group of University of New Mexico.
I kind of agree with the GA.
It's funny there.
AG, what is that? Attorney General?
I think it's Assistant Attorney General. Group of University of New Mexico law professors and the New Mexico Criminal Defense Lawyers Association are supporting the latest legal challenge brought by these 2. Their quote is that, quote, these capital sentences are political vestiges of an abolished state system of death. New Mexico has no compelling interest in distinguishing Mr. Allen and Mr. Fry from future defendants who will escape execution because of repeal. Yes, the last execution was in 2001. That was Terry Clark, who's a child killer, and that execution was the first in the state in 41 years. Wow! So they're not into They've executed one guy in 50 years, and then they're trying to execute 2. They want to keep these death sentences of 2 guys while there's no death penalty. It's really difficult. But in 2016, their governor at the time, Susana Martinez here, she found it politically. She found a little crack in a political landscape to say, if I say I like the death penalty, this is good for me right now. And this is the reason why we have problems with the death penalty, because it's a political thing more than anything. And that's what the problem is.
Politicizing death is disgusting.
It's weird. And she says she intends to, in 2016, intended to seek reinstatement of New Mexico's death penalty. This was the day after the shooting death of a police officer.
Oh, you bitch.
So everyone was pissed off. She came out the next day and said, this is horrible. This is why I'm going to seek to reinstate the death penalty, and used a fucking poor cop's death as bullshit for her. And maybe he likes the death penalty. Maybe his family does. Whatever. It doesn't fucking matter. The governor shouldn't use that to try to score some cheap political points.
That's gross.
And that's what he did.
The day after.
That's what she did. The day after. The day after, right?
Body's still warm. What a bitch.
Doesn't care. Yeah, she was coming right out and doing it. And two, she tried to insert it into a state legislative session, but she tried to do it haphazardly and quickly, so it wasn't put together correctly. Even she didn't have. To have a law, you have to have a structure of how it works. You can't just say we should kill people and they write people gonna die now, and then they pass that as a law. There's a whole procedure and a setup and an appeal system and housing and where you're gonna kill them, who's gonna do it, who do you hire out, where do you get the drug. There's a whole fucking thing you have to plan when you're killing human beings. In a big plan, even the mob takes a minute to make a plan about it. They don't just write "kill Johnny" and then hand it to a guy.
Even the Nazis,
they talk about it.
Oven.
That's what I'm saying. Fuck, man. So in 2018, this year, April of 2018, they still hadn't decided from 2014. They listened to 2 more hours of oral arguments.
Wow.
With a ruling still likely to be maybe a year away. So this is still not ruled on. The Attorney General's office urged the court to stick closely to the 1980s era guidelines for reviewing proportionality of death sentences. They're let's stick to that thing from 30, 40 years ago. I think that's where we want to be.
Remember when Billy Joel was on the radio?
You remember, don't you, when Phil Collins was popular? Remember that?
Remember when Phil Collins had hair Let's talk about
Remember when women wanted to fuck Phil Collins? Remember how weird that was? Yeah, that time. You know what I'm talking about. So the Attorney General here, Assistant AG Victoria Wilson, said that
everyone, Phil Collins's road gash bucket was
full, overflowing, full. He had to give it away.
He had to give some to Genesis.
Throw it out like to seals. Just here you go, Peter Gabriel. I don't know anybody else in Genesis's name, so I'm going to go stick with
Nobody
Peter
else
Gabriel.
does either.
I don't think any of it matters, really. So this Assistant AG Victoria Wilson said that the limits consideration that limits consideration to it's only to other murder cases within the state that have virtually the same aggravating circumstances. She said the deliberations should primarily focus on whether the death sentences were applied with good reason and not arbitrarily. Also, they're also deciding whether a law that is in place now supersedes a law that used to be in place. Right. That's the other thing they're deciding, which is
kind of the main thing.
Yeah, most of the time when you're grandfathered into a law, it's for something good. Right. You know what I mean? Like, hey, no more putting that color flower in the homeowners association, but you had them before, so you're grandfathered in. You can keep your pink flowers. Not fucking you grandfathered in with the death penalty. That's kind of rough. So all this is still going on. So hopefully, maybe, possibly at some point in the future here, we will have an update on whether or not this fucking guy is commuted. Not only him, but his friend, Robert Fry. Not his friend, but the other guy. There's two defendants, and Robert Fry is the other one. And I swear to Christ right now, podcasters in the sound of my voice, if any of you fucking touch that guy, I'll hunt you down and break your fucking legs. He's mine. Understand? He's fucking mine. I found him, and I'm going to fucking do an episode on him. And you guys can eat fucking dicks and find your own shit. So, this Robert Fry, he's a fucking menace, this guy. Yeah. And on his psychological report, because he has a big psychological report from a university, that's how much of a nut he is. In his psychological report, it credits, Jesus Christ, it is listed that he murdered Sandra Phillips in Flora Vista in 1994, but it lists her age difference. So I'm like, there's no way there was two Sandra Phillips that were 2 years apart that were both strangled in 1994.
The weirdest part is that you've got two guys in the same
vicinity.
In this
Farmington, this guy's from. Okay. Now, this guy also...
They're both on death row, and he's credited with killing them.
Yeah, he killed like 4 people, Robert Fry, some of them in the same way of this, especially a woman that he killed, kidnapped from outside a convenience store.
Fascinating.
And ended up beating her with a sledgehammer, tried to cut her head. He did all this horrible shit to her. We'll talk about it when we do an episode on it eventually. But
good Christ.
Horrible shit he did, and that was only one of the murders he did. And then there was a bunch of others. He was suspected that he just would pick up native guys that were like, drunk or something, and they would fucking, brutalize them, sometimes kill them and leave them in the desert. Like, this was just a really, really bad guy. He had a couple different accomplices and all this, but they attributed this to him. And when you look at it, you're like, fuck, I know this guy probably did it, but it makes so much more sense that the other guy did it. It just does. Like, he's in the area. It's what he does. Yeah. He's a sick motherfucker.
That's his thing.
But this guy says he did it so much. Why would he keep telling everyone he did it if he didn't do it? Right. That's what bothers me. It bothers me if there's no like DNA here. Yeah. That's a little annoying. The truck thing with the rope and all that, that's pretty solid stuff. Yeah. That's and the hair and the thing and all
the fucking thing.
That's pretty solid. But if he didn't tell, I don't know, everyone he ever met that he did it, I would be really weirded out by this, just by the physical evidence, because it's like, shit, that's physical evidence, but it could be circumstantial too, blah, blah, blah. But
he's his own worst nightmare.
Telling everyone, I would, if it was just the other inmates, I'd say fucking jailhouse snitches are most of the time full of shit, because they are. So
he's telling the wife's stepdad.
He told his wife.
Yeah,
his wife's
that's
like,
another point.
he said he fucked her and killed her. That's what he told me. So like, so that's that. He told everyone he could fucking find, anyone within the sound of his voice. He went up atop a mesa and said, "Everyone, please, I killed this girl.
People of Flora Valley, lend me your ears.
People of the valley, lend me your ears.
Vista, whatever.
Flora Vista, lend me your ears." So that's what I mean. So this Robert Fry guy is super, super interesting, and these two are really intertwined. And I wish this was like a 5-hour show, because I would love to do a fucking like a
little bit on both
mashup of. I was like, man, can we do that? And I'm like, it's going to be too long. But yeah, I was thinking about just to say, what do you think about this guy? Even though this guy did it, I want to sit them in a room together, and I want to find out who the fuck did what.
Yeah.
Like, because this can't be this guy's first time he did this. No way he tried to fuck. He did that to a woman in 1982 and then didn't do anything until 1994.
That's a long time.
It's a long time. I realize he's had other legal problems, but he's also had alcohol problems. He was stopped.
He's also traveling with the carnival.
That's what I mean.
So much opportunity.
In other states, who the fuck? That's the thing about these carny workers is they're gone the next day. So who the fuck knows what they're doing? They're like truckers, for Christ's sake. No offense, truckers. We know we have a lot of trucker listeners, but a lot of you are killing prostitutes. Let's be realistic here. This is the same thing, but
There's
worse.
Been way too many. One would say that's probably the most serial killer profession.
It probably is. Well, you're on a highway. Just get on, keep going.
It facilitates.
No one
the
notices.
Shit out of it.
No one. All the trucks look the same. No one notices.
All the girls
wild.
look the same at every truck stop.
That's right. Well, that right there is Flora Vista, New Mexico, and the fucked up case of the less bad Tim Allen.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not. They're about even. I would say they're going to be about equal, these two. But there, that
the
is
one minus Pamela Anderson when she was hot.
Yeah, that's the one right there. So if you like that show, there's a few ways you can help us out and tell us that. You can give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts or iTunes, whatever the hell that is, or whatever you listen on. If there's a rating system, fucking give us 5 stars or 10 stars, whatever the goddamn top amount of stars are. Say whatever you want about us. We don't care. It's not for our ego. It just really helps to get those reviews. So say you like us, or say that fucking turkey sandwiches are pretty delicious, or say those old Subway bread cuts were stupid as fuck. Say whatever you want, but say it.
The brown roast beef is the best.
It ruled. Say whatever you want, but say it. And then when you're done with that, go over to shutupandgivememurder.com. And also you can find links on shutupandgivememurder.com that will take you to magical places.
Yeah.
Places like to all the live show tickets to the upcoming tour, which we told you about before. And there's going to be links all in there. It'll take you to our merchandise. Other wonderful links it'll take you to are to donate to our show.
You can
It'll
go there.
Take you right to patreon.com/crimeinsports. You can donate there, or head over to PayPal and use our email address, which is crimeinsports@gmail.com, and make a one-time donation there. And I think right about now it's time to talk about the goddamn most amazing group of people who did just that, who actually went there and donated to us and made us feel special, and who keep the lights on. Jimmy, why don't you do me a favor and hit me with that list?
This week's executive producers are Amy Spicer, Laura Blakesley, Barbara Johnson Stern, Casey Pettit, Chrissy-Ann Castaldi, Ryan Bobo, Carrie Clark, and Sue Sparks.
Thank you, guys. That's a lot of
amazing.
God, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Wow,
it's
you.
really just amazing.
Yeah, it's too much. Thank you, guys.
Through like that is really fucking spectacular.
We're blown away by it,
Truly.
really.
Michaela Stafford, Emma Kaysen, Ryan Baer, Kirby Dotson, Lauren Demarath, Melissa Roker.
Demarath sounds like a drug.
It does.
That they give you. Like, doctor prescribed me Demarath. No, it's pretty good shit. It makes you feel good, but, you know.
It's just an itch. It'll go away now.
That's cool.
Melissa Roker, Justin Inwood, Jillian Tuba, Charles Vogt, Janice Hill, Shannon Feltus. She's been around a long time. Thank you, Shannon. Caro C. Smith. Jesse Hartman donated twice. Thanks, Jesse. Fucking the guy is in every week, and he did it twice this week.
God, thank you.
Stephen Rude, Susan Saunders, Matthew Dietrich, Molly Hewitt, Muriel Pelletier.
That right? No. I was excited for you. I'm like, hey, good job.
Muriel Pelletier. It's French. I'm sure of that.
That one just leaked out.
Pink Panther the fuck out of that. That's the best I could do. Ariana Folsom donated twice.
Thank you
Ariana.
so much.
Ashley Boxler, Danielle Wall, Kevin McKee, Jake LeBeer, Chris England, Ted Cyrus, Danielle Graham, Leandra. Is that Leandra? It is. Leandra Randall.
Thank you.
That's true.
I hope so.
Jeremy McMinn, Robert Burns, Nicole Daenzer, Nicola Hannon, Cody Hargo, Kenzita Crenshaw. Yes.
That's a cool name.
I think so. Elizabeth Holzcamper.
I think so.
Elizabeth Holzcamper, Brian Toole, Courtney Cassidy, Jess Landgren.
Thanks,
you,
Jess. Of course.
Richard Hill, Nicole with no last name, just question marks. Barbara Pagani.
Oh, she's been around a while too with us. Yeah, thank you, Barbara.
I don't know why I can't say Barbara. That's a very easy name. Krista Fleischer, Taylor Page Jennings, Craig McGeechan, Zach Cornell, Mike McNamara, Jessica Manor, David Immel, Talon Folk, F-O-C-K-E. It's for sure Folk, right?
Yeah, F-O-C-K-E. That could be Fock.
Could be Fock.
You're going Fokker, like Meet the Parents.
Did I say Fokker?
You said Fokker.
F-O-C-K-E. There's no R.
Fock.
I don't know. I think it's Fock.
Hey, Fock.
What are you doing, Focky?
Get the fuck out of here.
Margie Coonsey. She's been around a long time,
fuck
too.
Yeah,
She's
thanks,
fantastic.
Margie. You fucking rule.
Karen Lambiasi, Summer Tweet, Jason Fuller. Jason, coming
Jason,
through.
my man.
Rachel Stora, Kath Leader, Marissa Oman Hughes, Kate Myers, Sherry Mather, James Fraker, Jessica Wood, Vanessa Fajardo, Fajardo? What? Fajardo?
How do you spell it?
Fajardo.
I think it's Fajardo.
Fajardo?
It's Fajardo. I knew a kid named Fajardo in school with that
That's
lesson.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Martina Kunkel, she donated twice. Thank you, Martina. Chris Davis, Jen Hardman, Kate Ives, Austin Weiser, Anthony Renaro, Antonio Garcia, Ricardo Basantes, Darian Long, Stephanie Ahern, Chris Voss, Christy Birch, Under the Sea Fabrics, thank you, Arthur Kazuba, Alexandria Rowland, Katie's, I don't know what that is. It's a restaurant maybe? It's Katie's with apostrophe S.
Well,
that's not a
it's a place. No, that's a place.
That's
or
definitely something.
She owns something, damn it.
Yes, she does.
There's ownership there.
She owns that donation. Thank you,
That's right,
Katie.
God damn it. Thank you.
Jeremy Lemos, Rachel Gallagher, Zachary McAbee. Zachary McAbee. He donated twice also.
Wow.
Thank you, Zach.
Well, thank you so much.
Belinda Sanchez, Trini Martinez Jr., Sarah Huffskins, I think.
Huck Fins?
Yes. Justin Miller, Brittany Neville, last home stretch. Jesus Rodriguez, Hillary Cooper, Meg Morrow, Stephen Gibson, Tabitha Staples. She's new. Thank you, Tabitha. Kelly Creighton, Willis Wood, Casey Moore, Gina Buchel.
Yes.
Ross Van Dam, Micaiah. Right? Micaiah. Yes. Micaiah Johannes,
Nice.
Reagan Fisher Byrne, Melissa Cole, Janice Hill, Angela Miller, Zoe Slingluff, Aaron Shit.
Well, we love you.
Aaron Sayer, Taylor Winslow, Michelle Rogers, Heather Avery, Thesis himself. I'm not sure what that is, but he's on Twitter.
Yeah, he's cool. He's always tweeting at us.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Damian Palmer, Brian Welch, M. Cho, Andrew Wilcox, Elisa, Elyssa, Alyssa, Corey Putz, Dick Blowen. You know what? I think somebody's fucking with me there.
I think you're probably getting picked on there.
Dick Blowen. That's for sure getting fucked with. Zachary Randall, I think I said that. Michael Paul Gibson, Zach Watts, Stephen Butaro, Jacinta Edmonds.
Yeah, we're teaching you silent J's today.
Yeah.
Between Fajardo and
Shane Slocum, which is brutal. Random Precision.
It's better than Fast Cum, I guess.
Right. Bill Shazinski, Gretchen L. Jones, and Jason Michael Smith. You guys fucking come through every week.
You are the best.
We appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Honestly, we cannot do this without you. We would not be sitting in this studio right now. We would be trapped under somebody else's
thumb.
I was going to say their boot. It felt more like that. They're trapped under their boot and being told what to do and to let old ladies do things that are less important than us in the space we are in and all sorts of crazy shit. Yeah. But we're all free of that because of you guys. Thank you so much. And they're always super important to us. Yeah. So thank you so much. And what if one of these people wanted to tell you how important you are, Jimmy? How
you can
could
tell
they do
me
that?
Anything you'd like to say at Whisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. I like hearing everything from you guys. It's pretty fucking amazing to find out how you guys found us, where you found us, why you listen, what you enjoy about the shows, and we really appreciate that. What about you?
We dig it a lot. You can find me at Jimmy P is Funny find it there. Look around, Twitter and all that shit.
Yeah,
it's on there. Or you can just copy and paste my last name from the show description, and there's that. So do that because it's long and you'll fuck it up anyway. Right. And thank you for hanging in there. Me feeling like shit, and I hope it wasn't too shitty for you, but I think we came through. Jimmy picked up some slack there, and we did it up. And thank you guys so much for hanging with us through this incredible, incredible journey. We'll be back next week. Get those damn live show tickets, please.
Let's go.
We'll be back as always. And until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.